Hello, my friends. I hope you're doing well tonight. Who's here? Sorry I'm a bit late. I changed my outfit because I wanted to. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. It is Monday, October the 2nd, and it is Miss Donna's birthday. She's not here, but I will be wishing her a lovely birthday. Uh, I'm in yet again a different kitchen. Thank you for joining me as we watch court tonight. Uh, I may or may not do some kitchen things, or I might just be in the lovely kitchen. It is lovely. Even watch this. I didn't set that up. Donna had that going beforehand. Just if only I were taller, a little bit taller. Anyways, might be able to keep it in the shot. And my boobs, lights and boobs. Probably not. Anyways, 7-hour tacos. I don't know what that is, but I hope everybody's having a good day. I had a really good day. I went and did a little bit of shopping, very little bit of shopping, a lot more browsing. I drove on a highway, which was an experience, and I was in a very, very ritzy mall. Anyways, it was fun. I was by myself, which is good. And I was talking to myself in the IKEA. I went to IKEA today. And the IKEA, I'll tell you, sorry, the IKEA was an adventure all of its own. I know it's difficult to restrain yourself at IKEA to begin with, but luckily when you're flying somewhere and it's really not feasible to buy things. So I may have made it out of IKEA the best I've ever made it out before. But regardless, I hope so lemon butter pasta with grilled lemon chicken. That sounds good. Um, oh yes, thank you. Arby's, you're maybe eating Arby's or chicken breast. Making chicken breast. Those are two very different options. Anyways, you've never been to an IKEA, Vicky. Well, I have been to IKEA. I'm not going for the first time, but we don't have an IKEA on the island where I live, so it's sort of novel to me to be able to go there still. So that's why I did that today. Plus, my daughter wanted something from the IKEA, which unfortunately they didn't have. But they did have their Christmas stuff up, which I thought was weird. Anyways, so like I said, we're watching some court. We're going to Bothell. You have to forgive me. I didn't spend any money at the mall either. I was looking for something specific. I also didn't find it. I'm really cheap. I've learned that. Like, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'm super duper cheap. I have realized that and I am okay with that. I will spend money on certain things, but not that kind of money on dresses and weird shit. Absolutely no. Anyways, like I said, let's watch some court. But I gotta actually set it up. That's what you're supposed to do ahead of time instead of shopping in IKEA, Paisley. Remember? You should have also fixed this so that it's not like this. Dumbass. Where's Larry Beaver when I need him? Just abandons me in Florida. Actually, people here, again, very friendly people in America. I'm also smitten with the fact that they give you drinks when you leave a restaurant. It's like the best thing I've ever found. God damn it. And if it's a translator case, so help me God. Hi, Jonathan, Vicky, T-Rex, Beverly. Thought I saw She's a Maker was here earlier. Janelle, Mike, Dana M. Mike.
Good morning, everyone. We're back on the record on the 9:30 calendar. Good morning, Council. Looks like we're ready to proceed now.
Your Honor, if we can first address Mr. Mays's matter off of the 9/29 calendar, I would note we are ready to address both interpreter matters, but the interpreter indicated that he needed a break before resuming. And so that's why we're not addressing those matters at the beginning of the calendar. Mr. Mays's matter is 3A0517348. This is on for arraignment. Underlying allegation here being one count of domestic violence assault in the 4th degree. This is from an incident date of October 1st. I had the opportunity to speak with him. We did go over the maximum penalty for the charge. We also discussed the potential mandatory minimum penalties upon conviction, and we also discussed all of the constitutional rights he has at this stage of the proceedings. He's indicating no questions, and so we are prepared to move forward with the arraignment this morning.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Mays.
Good morning.
Is Jesse Edward Mays your true name?
Yes.
Ms. Pimentel just told me she went over quite a bit of information with you this morning. Did you understand all of it?
I believe so, yes.
All right. Any questions for me?
I don't think so.
All right. Anything comes up, please feel free to raise it first with your attorney, obviously, because they're there to represent you. But if you still have further confusion, you're free to ask the court as well. Ms. Pimentel.
Your Honor, we will acknowledge receipt of the complaint, waive formal reading, and enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
Not guilty plea will enter. Court has previously had an opportunity to review the police reports and did make a finding of probable cause. What is the city's request with regard to release and conditions?
Yeah, Mr. Mays does not have recent FTA history, so the city is not asking for bail at this time. We are asking for a no contact order due to the prior DV incidents. I count 5 in the last 2 years, with one of which was charged, but ultimately dismissed from our courts. I understand that Leah Warner is the alleged victim here, and she is here, and she will be asking to not have a no contact order issue.
Ms. Pimentel, I assume you would like to hear from her first before you respond.
I would just note we don't have any objection, obviously, to standard conditions. I discussed with him both what the city is indicating, but obviously I assume the court wants to hear from her before making a final decision.
All right, Ms. Warner.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine. Sorry, that's my toddler in the background.
Okay, generally speaking, when people appear by Zoom, I need them to turn their video on for me.
Oh, okay. Hi. Sorry, I have my 3-year-old.
Working on it,
He
Judge.
doesn't really
Seriously.
understand it. I'm not supposed to be distracted, but yes, I mean, I'm not sure what you want to, what do you have a question for me? I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do right now.
That's okay. Mr. Lohr indicated that he is asking for a no contact order to be issued in this case. And he said that he thought you were going to say that you did not want one. And so I'm giving you that opportunity to tell me what you would like.
Hold on. I don't want to no contact.
Ms. Warner, I'm gonna stop you because I'm only hearing about half of the words. So if you can move to a place with better internet. And actually, since I have
Yeah, sorry.
we turned your video off. So go ahead. That might make it better.
Okay, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get him occupied for
That's okay.
Okay. Yeah, that is correct. I do not want a no contact order. I don't feel it's necessary. And I'm not. I don't know what you. I'm sorry. I've never done this before, so I don't want a no contact order. That's correct. Do you need more explanation, or what else?
No, I was actually just looking because I was trying to see, and I had the information on the August 9th of 22 case. All right. Looks like I did not issue a no contact order on that case. All right. So thank you, Ms. Warner. And I will take what you've indicated into consideration. However, Mr. Mays, the city is not asking for bail, so I will release you on your personal recognizance on the following conditions. You need to notify the court in person or in writing of any change of address, have no new criminal law violations for which there is probable cause, make an appointment with your attorney, make it to that appointment, because they can't help you if you're not talking to them. Make it to your court dates, which I'm going to give you here in just a moment. In looking at the representation from Mr. Lohr with regard to prior incidents, and also the fact that you were before me essentially a year ago on similar charges, at this point in time, I do believe it is appropriate, and I am going to issue a no contact order. A no contact order means exactly what it says. You may not have contact in person, in writing, by Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, or any other form of communication. I'm going to assume that there's going to be a request that you be allowed to communicate for purposes of raising your child. Is that correct, Ms. Pimentel?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, so that communication, I will allow an exception to the no contact order that you may communicate in writing only. And it may be only about the child. And what I'm going to say here is very important, because we have a means in our society, or a habit of polite, how are you, or whatever, to begin communication. No. In this situation, it is literally and very specifically only about the care of the children. Okay. No pleasantries, no how are you doing, nothing like that. Okay? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. I understand.
Mr. Mays, this is my order. This is not Ms. Warner's order. She cannot give you permission to violate this order. All right?
I understand.
I need to notify you that a violation of this order is a new criminal law violation. It is a gross misdemeanor unless or until you have 2 prior convictions, in which case it becomes an automatic felony. An assault in violation of this order is a felony. I'm going to be clear here, there is a provision that you may not come within 1,000 feet of her workplace, or her person, her home, or her workplace. Okay. If you are in a public location and you encounter her, it is your responsibility to leave. All right. If you don't, you face new charges. And I tell people, and I see you nodding, and I'm going to tell you this. I cannot tell you how many times in my relatively short period of time on the bench, I've had people come back before me because they thought that they wouldn't have contact with law enforcement. They thought whatever was happening, there would be no police officers there. And for some reason, totally unrelated to the individuals, law enforcement is there. All right. And then you come back before me. And I get really cranky. City has not asked for bail in this case. You can understand I might be thinking otherwise if you were back before me having violated my order.
Yeah.
All right.
How long is the no contact order?
At this point in time, it is for the pendency of the case because it's a pre-trial order. All right. But you can discuss that with your attorney. It is potentially up to 5 years. Okay.
Okay.
So
I do have a question if I'm allowed to ask that.
you may, I don't know if I'll answer it.
Okay. It's just you said approximately a year ago he was before you with a similar case. I don't remember that at all. I mean, I don't think that ever did. I mean, I'm sure it happened if you say it did, but could you like maybe explain more what you're talking about? Because I don't recall that incident happening for me and him. Yeah.
So that's something that you can take up with the victim advocate or with the prosecutor's office.
Okay.
With regard to this case, and going back, Mr. Mays, I have advised you of the no contact order. Because I have issued a no contact order, you may not own, possess, or have under your control any firearm under state law or firearm or ammunition under federal law, unless or until your right to do so has been restored. Whoops. Yeah. I'm sorry. That's a wrong colloquy there. You may not own, possess, or have under your control any firearm or ammunition, as I indicated, but it is during the pendency of this case. With regard to the no contact order, as long as the no contact order is in place. I don't know if, and I was just trying to see if you've already lost that right in the past, which is possible. So with regard to this case, since I've released you on your personal recognizance, I'm going to set a number of dates. Because I've advised you of your loss of right to own, possess, or have under your control any firearm, you will need to file a document with the court that you are either that you have surrendered any firearms that you own to law enforcement, in which case you will need to provide proof of that to the court, or that you have filed an affidavit that you do not have any firearms to surrender. That must be done within 48 hours. So I'm going to set that hearing for October.
Now, I have a question. Is she circumventing a normal TPO hearing? Because is this just a bond condition that she's just put in place of no contact? It sounds extremely strict, and she's sort of executing it like it is a full no contact order, like we would hear in a TPO hearing. But I don't think that's what this hearing was. This is interesting to me, what she's putting in place here. Midterms this week? Oh my gosh. Thank God I don't have to go to school.
Fourth at 1:30 in the afternoon in person at the Bothell Municipal Court. If you have filed that document, you will not need to appear, but you need to be sure you have filed that document. Your pretrial will be, I'm sorry?
Which document is it? I'm sorry.
Either that you have surrendered your firearms, if you own any, or an affidavit stating that you do not own any.
Okay.
And Your Honor, he's planning on signing that affidavit of non-surrender.
So that the hearing of proof or appear is going to be scheduled for October 4th at 1:30. So you will either need to be at the Bothell Municipal Court on that date or have filed that document before then. Your pretrial is going to be scheduled on October 26th at 1:30 in person.
Hi, Courtney.
At the Bothell Municipal Court, the trial date of December 11th, or the week of December 11th. All right.
Sure.
So we'll see you on the 26th for sure, possibly on October 4th. Ms. Warner, I see you have another question.
Sorry, yes. I'm just wondering, does that mean he cannot have any contact with his kids, or how do we work that out? Do I ask somebody else? Because the 3-year-old's been asking for daddy all day, and so I just, does that include them, or how does that work?
Mr. Laura, the no contact order, as I understand, was only requested with regard to Ms. Warner, so she is the only person he is prohibited from contacting. Is that
Okay.
And Mr. Laura, you look like you're about to say yes.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
All right. So with that, the issue and the concern will be in how you go about sharing that, but that's something you can discuss, he can discuss with his attorney. With regard to court-appointed counsel, Ms. Pimentel, I'm sorry, was there a request for court-appointed counsel?
He's indicating he's not currently employed at this time, Your Honor, so I do believe he would qualify.
All right, Mr. Mays, I am going to make a preliminary finding that you do qualify for court-appointed counsel. It is a preliminary finding. I will need you to complete an affidavit for me that indicates your income, your assets, and your expenses. And I was just taking a quick look here, because it does look like I think I appointed your office, Ms. Pimentel, on the prior case as well. The preliminary, I'm just trying to see if I did a final. I don't see that I received the affidavit. So I will need you to complete that affidavit. It asks about your income, your assets, and your expenses. Without it, I don't have technically a legal basis for granting you a court-appointed counsel, and I might have to reverse my decision and charge you attorney's fees. I'm pretty sure you don't want to have happen, so please get me that affidavit, okay?
Okay.
All right, so with that, I will see you, as I indicated, for sure on the 26th of October, possibly on the 4th.
Okay.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Your Honor, while we're waiting for Mr. Sepulveda, Mr. Smith, I believe, is here only to address Mr. Baker's matter, who was not transported if the court wanted to address that.
I will also note, Ms. Warner did just send another question. Ms. Warner, I'm going to ask you to contact the victim advocate or the prosecutor, or
she's no longer on the call. I think maybe if the city could have someone reach out to her.
Okay.
I'm way ahead of you. I just emailed the victim advocate to call her.
Very good. Thank you. All right. Mr. Smith, you had a very quick matter. It looks like Mr. Sepulveda is with us, but let's go ahead and address the Baker matter. 3800. It's on for active probation, but he was not transported. Any information, Mr. Smith?
My understanding is he's in 10-minute watch at this point. I'd ask the court to release him.
I don't know, Courtney. Do you think that Mikey's gonna collect on that? I probably owe him a lot of money too.
Unfortunately, I'm not available tomorrow. I have to do we waited 15 months for a mental health evaluation. I have to be there tomorrow at that time, and I have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, so I'm not available till Thursday. So if the court doesn't want to release him, I would ask that this be set Thursday at 9:30.
Mr. Lohr, what is the city's position?
Yeah, the city is asking to maintain bail $5,000. He already missed FTA on this case 3 times already.
All right, I will maintain bail and we'll set this over, and we'll set it to Thursday, as that's when Mr. Smith is available.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. That's all I have.
All right, have a good day.
I will. Thank you.
Your Honor, we are ready to address, looks like Mr. Ramos Hernandez. Again, you have Mr. Sepulveda here.
Good morning, Mr. Sepulveda.
Good morning, Your Honor. For the record, Pablo Sepulveda, certified court, Spanish interpreter, permanently sworn, oath on file. Señor, me acabo de presentar como el intérprete.
Your Honor, this is cause number 3A0686821 on for pretrial.
Su señoría, aquí está el caso 3A068060821, que está aquí para un caso previo a juicio.
We have submitted to the court a statement of defendant on plea of guilty. This will be as charged.
Y hemos presentado al tribunal una declaración del acusado en declaratoria de culpable, y esto es la acusación tal como se le ha imputado.
With the assistance of the interpreter, we did go over the document in its entirety.
Con la ayuda del intérprete, nosotros hemos revisado el documento completamente.
I believe at this time I've answered all the questions that he does have, so I do believe that we are prepared to move forward with the plea.
Creo que en este momento hemos contestado todas las preguntas que él ha tenido y creo que estamos preparados para proceder con la declaración.
And based on our conversation, I do believe he's making a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary decision.
Según nuestra conversación, yo sí creo que él está haciendo una decisión a sabiendas, inteligente y voluntariamente.
Oh, Holly, be real. I was never invited to your cookout. But nice to see you. Also, Sashina, thank you so much for being here. Don't worry about being late. You're not even that late. We barely just got started.
Good morning, Mr. Ramos Fernandez.
Buenos días.
Buenos días, señor Ramos Fernández, y le pido que espere por la traducción.
Ok, buenos días.
Okay, good morning.
I have a document before me entitled The Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty with your name and cause number on it.
Aquí tengo yo frente a mí un documento que dice la declaración del acusado en declaratoria de culpable y aquí aparece su nombre.
It looks like you gave Ms. Pimentel permission to electronically sign this document on your behalf. Is that correct?
Parece que usted le dio permiso a la abogada Pimentel para que ella firme este documento de su parte. ¿Es correcto eso?
Sí.
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity to go over the entire document with the assistance of Mr. Sepulveda, the interpreter, and Ms. Pimentel, your attorney?
¿Y usted tuvo la oportunidad de revisar todo el documento con la ayuda del intérprete, el señor Sepúlveda, y la abogada, la señora Pimentel?
Seguro que sí.
For sure, yes.
Was Ms. Pimentel able to answer any questions that you may have had about the document?
¿Y la señora Pimentel pudo contestar cualquier pregunta que usted podría tener acerca de este documento? Yes.
Do you have any questions for me about the document?
¿Ahora usted tiene alguna pregunta para mí acerca de ese documento?
I'm sorry?
¿Cómo dijo?
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We're going to go through this together, starting on page 1, paragraph 1.
Muy bien, vamos a revisar todo este documento juntos, comenzando con la página 1, párrafo 1.
Is Julian P. Ramos Fernandez your true name?
Su nombre verdadero y correcto es Julián P. Ramos Hernández.
Sí.
Yes.
Are you 46 years old?
¿Usted tiene 46 años de edad?
Sí.
Yes.
Is the highest level of education you've completed the 2nd grade, but you read and write in Spanish?
Y lo mayor que completó usted es el 2º grado, pero usted sí lee y escribe en español?
Poquito.
A little.
Okay. Paragraph 4 indicates the crimes that you are charged with that you intend to plead guilty to today are count 1, protection order violation, and count 2, knowingly possessing a controlled substance.
Bueno, aquí aparece en el párrafo 4 lo que indica los delitos de los cuales se le acusa, a lo cual usted tiene la intención de declararse culpable. Aquí dice quebrantamiento de orden de protección y también posesión de sustancia sabiendas quebrantar
Is anyone else having problems hearing Mr. Sepulveda?
Yes, it's breaking.
Yes.
Okay.
He appears to be frozen.
My internet was slow right here. I think I'm having internet connectivity problems. So let me.
It's sounding better now. Are you still there, Mr. Sepulveda?
Yes, I turned off my camera. My computer is, I think I'm due for a new computer, Your Honor. It's kind of slow. I don't know if it's the internet or my computer or a combination of both. But yeah, I was frozen for a moment. ¿Me puede escuchar ahora? I'll keep off my
That's-
camera.
That's fine.
Camera off. Señor, me disculpo que se había congelado por un momento el computador. Okay.
So let's go back to, I think we were discussing paragraph 4.
Entonces, creo que estábamos conversando del párrafo 4.
It indicates the crimes that you are charged with that you intend to plead guilty to today are 1 count of a protection order violation and 1 count of knowingly possessing a controlled substance.
Básicamente que se le está acusando con quebrantamiento de orden de protección y posesión de una sustancia regulada.
The elements of those crimes, and count 1 was committed against, that the protection order violation was committed against an intimate partner.
Y el cargo número 1 se cometió en contra de una compañera íntima.
The elements of those crimes were set forth in the charging documents that you received. Did you go over them carefully to make sure they accurately describe the crimes you intend to plead guilty to today?
Los elementos están en el documento inculpatorio que usted también leyó y acaba de leer hoy. ¿Usted se aseguró de leer completamente bien todo ese documento y entiende entonces cuál es la acusación y a lo que se está declarando culpable?
Sí.
Yes.
And you understand that those elements are what the city would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in order to convict you of those offenses.
Ahora entiende usted que la fiscalía tendría que comprobar todas esas acusaciones por encima de toda duda razonable para poder condenarlo de estos delitos. ¿Entiende?
Sí.
Yes.
Paragraph 5 sets forth the constitutional rights that you give up by pleading guilty.
El párrafo 5 indica los derechos constitucionales a los que usted renuncia al declararse culpable.
They include the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury in the county where the crime was alleged to have been committed.
Esto incluye esto incluye un juicio por jurado. Espera aquí, un juicio por jurado en el condado donde usted cometió el delito.
The right to remain silent before and during trial and to refuse to testify against yourself.
El derecho a guardar silencio antes y durante el juicio. El derecho a rehusar a testificar en contra de sí mismo.
The right to hear and question any witnesses who would testify against you.
Usted tiene el derecho de escuchar e interrogar cualquier testigo que testifique en su contra.
You also have the right at trial to testify and to have witnesses testify for you. And those witnesses can be made to appear at no expense to you.
Usted también tiene el derecho en un juicio de testificar y que haya testigos que testifiquen por usted, y estos testigos se puede pedir que comparezcan sin costo alguno para usted.
You have the right to the presumption of innocence that would require that the charge be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you.
Usted tiene el derecho a ser presunto inocente y que esto requiere que el cargo se compruebe por encima de toda duda razonable antes de encontrarlo culpable o que se determine culpable en su contra.
You have a right to appeal that finding of guilt after trial.
Y usted tiene el derecho de apelar esta determinación de culpable después de un juicio.
Do you understand that these are your constitutional rights and that by pleading guilty today, you will be giving them up in this case?
¿Entiende usted que estos son sus derechos constitucionales a los que usted renuncia al declararse culpable hoy?
Sí.
Yes.
Paragraph 6 sets forth the consequences of your plea. Did you go through those carefully?
Ahora, el párrafo 6 de este documento enumera las consecuencias de su declaración de culpable. ¿Usted revisó esto cuidadosamente? el documento? Yes.
Did you make sure that the prosecutor's recommendation that is written in paragraph 6C accurately reflects what they said they were going to recommend pursuant to the plea agreement?
¿Y usted se aseguró que la recomendación de la fiscalía que está escrito ahí en el párrafo 6 refleja lo que ellos dijeron que iban a pedirle como recomendación con respecto a esta declaración de culpable?
I'm sorry?
¿Cómo dijo?
Sí.
Yes.
But you understand, as the judge, I don't have to follow the prosecutor's recommendation or anyone's recommendation.
Ahora entiende usted que como la jueza, yo no estoy obligada a seguir la recomendación de la fiscalía ni tampoco ninguna recomendación de nadie.
I think we need him to answer out loud.
Señor, creo que usted tiene que contestar en voz alta.
Esa que dijo la última no la entendí bien.
What was that last one? I didn't understand it very well.
So, as the judge, I don't have to follow anyone's recommendation with regard to sentencing.
Ahora, como juez, yo no estoy obligada a seguir la recomendación de nadie con respecto a la sentencia o imposición de condena.
I could sentence you to anything up to and including the maximum allowed by law, which in this case would be 364 days in jail on count 1, plus 180 days in jail on count 2, a $5,000 fine on count 1, and is it $5,000 fine on count 2?
It's
It was
1,000.
Yeah, it's filled in improperly here. A $1,000 fine on count 2. And if I did that, that would not be grounds for you to withdraw your guilty plea. Do you understand that?
Bueno, básicamente esto dice que yo podría sentenciarlo a usted a lo que sea hasta el máximo permitido por la ley en este caso, que sería 364 días de cárcel en el cargo número 1, más 180 días en cárcel en el cargo número 2, $5,000 de multa en el cargo número 1 y $1,000 de multa en el cargo número 2. Y que si yo hiciera eso, no sería fundamento para que usted pueda quitar su declaración de culpable. ¿Usted entiende?
William, are you saying that Holly is not an adult? I thought she was your adult supervision.
Ya me revolví, pero pues lo que sea lo que ella diga.
I'm all mixed up, but whatever you say.
Now, I need to make sure you understand before I enter this plea.
Mire, yo tengo que asegurarme que usted entienda antes de declararse culpable.
And so I will say it one more time, just to be sure that you, and if you have additional questions, we'll take a break, okay?
Yo tengo que asegurarme que usted entienda, así es que se lo voy a repetir. Y si usted quiere, puede hacer preguntas adicionales. Incluso podemos tomarnos un descanso también. Muy bien. Se lo voy a repetir.
Pues que me iba a dar un provecho, dijo, ¿no? Que me iba a dar provecho para eso.
Well, I think you said something about that I will get probation about this.
So I'm telling you that the prosecutor has made a recommendation to me about your sentence, which is written in paragraph 6C.
Lo que le estoy diciendo es que la fiscalía hizo una recomendación con respecto a su sentencia que está en el párrafo 6C.
Okay.
And I need to be sure that you understand that I do not have to follow that recommendation.
Yo tengo que asegurarme que usted entienda que yo no estoy obligada a seguir esa recomendación.
I'm not saying what I will do at sentencing because that hasn't happened yet.
Yo no le voy a decir lo que va a suceder en la imposición de condena porque eso no ha sucedido todavía.
But I do need you to understand that I could impose a year and a half in jail with these two charges.
Pero yo necesito que usted entienda que yo podría imponerle hasta 1 año y medio de cárcel en esta sentencia
And $6,000 in fines.
y $6,000 de multa.
¿Y la otra cuál es? ¿La de $1,000?
And what's the other one? The $1,000?
I'm sorry, can you not hear us at the jail?
Me disculpo, ¿qué pasa, señor? ¿Usted no nos puede escuchar bien en la cárcel?
Sí.
Yes, I can.
Sí, pero ya me revolví todo. Pero está bien, que es la de $1,000 está bien.
But I'm all confused. But that's okay. I'll take the $1,000 one.
Okay, it is clear to me at this point that Mr. Ramos Hernandez is not following what's happening today.
Bueno, me parece muy claro que el señor Ramos Hernández no está entendiendo lo que está sucediendo aquí hoy.
So I'm going to put this matter at this time.
Entonces, en este momento vamos a aplazar este caso por un momento, en este momento.
And we will address the other matter, and then Ms. Pimentel, if you believe that further conversation would assist in getting Mr. Ramos Hernandez to understand what is happening, then I'll be willing to reconsider. But at this point in time, I don't believe he is tracking with what is being said.
Y luego vamos a tratar este caso. Y señora Pimentel, la abogada, si usted cree que necesita conversar más con su cliente para poder ayudarle al señor Ramos Hernández para entender lo que está sucediendo, entonces yo estaría dispuesta a reconsiderar. Pero en este momento creo que él no está entendiendo lo que le estamos diciendo.
At the jail, we'll have the other individual, we'll put this matter.
Vamos a aplazar este caso para la cárcel. Por favor, ponga al otro individuo.
Mr. Rodriguez Doblado.
This is Milton Rodriguez Doblado, cause number 1A 0780238.
Señora, aquí está el intérprete. Le voy a traducir lo que están diciendo. Aquí dice, están llamando el caso de Milton Rodríguez Doblado, caso número 1A0780238. And for the record, Pablo Sepúlveda, certified court Spanish interpreter, permanently sworn. And my camera seems to be working, but I'm not able to turn it on now. So
Okay.
I think
Let's
someone
just leave it off so that way we make sure the connection is stable.
Okay, we'll leave it off. That's fine.
This is on for pretrial, and we have submitted to the court a statement of defendant on plea of guilty as to count 2 only. That is 1 count of negligent driving in the first degree.
Señora, aquí es la traducción. Ahora este caso está aquí para un caso previo a juicio que acabamos de presentar al tribunal una declaración del acusado en declaratoria de culpable en cargo número 1, que es una acusación de conducir en forma negligente en primer grado.
Believe upon the court's acceptance of the plea, the city is moving to dismiss count 1.
Y una vez que la juez acepte esta acusación, esta declaración, la fiscalía estaría pidiendo desestimar el cargo número 1.
With the assistance of the interpreter, again, we did go over the document in its entirety.
Ahora, con la ayuda del intérprete, otra vez, nosotros sí revisamos todo el documento completamente.
I've answered hopefully all the questions that he has at this time, and so we are prepared to move forward with the plea.
Y sí contestamos, espero que le haya contestado todas las preguntas que él haya tenido en este momento y estamos preparados para proceder con la declaración de culpable.
And so based on our conversation, I do believe he's making a knowing, intelligent, and voluntary decision.
Basado en la conversación que tuvimos, yo creo que él está haciendo esta decisión en forma a sabiendas, inteligente y voluntariamente.
Good morning, Mr. Rodriguez Doblado.
Buenos días, señor Rodríguez
días.
Doblado. Good morning. Espere la traducción, por favor.
I do have a document before me entitled "The Statement of Defendant on Plea of Guilty" with your name and cause number on it.
Aquí tengo un documento frente a mí que dice Declaración de acusado en declaratoria de culpable y tiene su nombre.
It looks like you gave Ms. Pimentel permission to electronically sign this document on your behalf. Is that correct?
Parece que usted le dio permiso a la abogada, la señora Pimentel, de firmar electrónicamente este documento de su parte. ¿Es correcto eso?
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Did you have a chance to go over the document in its entirety with Ms. Pimentel and with the assistance of Mr. Sepulveda, the interpreter?
¿Y usted tuvo la oportunidad de revisar todo este documento completamente con la señora Pimentel y con la ayuda del señor Sepúlveda, el intérprete?
Yeah.
I did.
Was Ms. Pimentel able to answer any questions that you had about the document?
¿Y la señora Pimentel, la abogada, pudo contestar todas las preguntas que usted tenía con respecto a esto?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yes, she did.
Do you have any questions for me about the document?
Ahora, ¿usted tiene alguna pregunta para mí acerca de este documento?
Bueno, pues, lo debe sería. lo último.
No, I don't think so. I can't think of anything.
All right, well, we're going to go through it together, starting on page 1, paragraph 1. So if any questions do come up, please feel free to raise them, okay?
Muy bien, vamos a revisar este documento juntos, comenzando con la página 1, párrafo 1. Así es que si en cualquier momento le aparece cualquier pregunta, por favor, pregúntela. Muy bien. Ok.
So, is your true name Milton G. Rodriguez Doblado?
Entonces, ¿su nombre verdadero y correcto es Melton G. Rodríguez Doblado?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you 29 years old?
¿Y tiene 29 años de edad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the highest you have, according to the document, you have had no formal schooling, but you do read and write some Spanish.
¿Y usted no tiene ninguna educación formal, pero usted sí lee y habla español?
Yeah.
Lee y habla, lee y ¿usted puede leer y escribir español?
Yeah. Sí, sí.
Your Honor, it's not clear for the interpreter if he's answering in English or Spanish. I will ask him right now if he could only stick to Spanish. I think he's mixing it up,
Okay.
saying yeah, and that's English, and that's confusing for the interpreter. I need to hear the yes or no in Spanish. Señora, ¿le puedo pedir, por favor, si puede contestar en inglés, en español, por favor? Usted está diciendo algunas palabras en inglés. Por favor, solamente en español. Son respuestas de sí o no.
Okay. Okay.
Muy bien, por favor. Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Paragraph 4 indicates the crime that you are charged with that you intend to plead guilty to today is count 2, negligent driving in the first degree.
Muy bien, el párrafo 4 indica el delito del cual se le acusa, al cual usted tiene la intención de declararse culpable, que es conducir en forma negligente en primer grado.
Sí.
Yes.
The elements of that crime were set forth in the charging documents that you received. Did you go through those elements carefully to make sure they accurately describe the crime you intend to plead guilty to today?
Los elementos del delito están fijados en el documento acusatorio que usted recibió. Usted recibió y revisó esos documentos y elementos cuidadosamente para asegurarse que esto describe el delito precisamente tal como usted tiene la intención de declararse culpable hoy.
Sí, sí.
Yes, yes.
And you also understand those elements are what the city would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt in order to be found guilty or to convict you of this offense.
Y entiende usted que esos son los elementos de lo que la fiscalía tendría que comprobar por encima de toda duda razonable para poder encontrarlo culpable, para condenarlo de este delito. ¿Entiende eso?
Sí.
Yes.
Paragraph 5 sets forth the constitutional rights that you give up by pleading guilty.
El párrafo 5 delinea cuáles son los derechos constitucionales a los que usted renuncia al declararse culpable.
Include the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury in the county where the crime was alleged to have been committed.
Esto incluye el juicio público, el derecho a juicio público y sin demora por un jurado imparcial en el condado donde el delito supuestamente se ha cometido.
The right to remain silent before and during trial and to refuse to testify against yourself.
El derecho a guardar silencio antes y durante el juicio y el derecho a negarse a prestar testimonio en contra de sí mismo.
The right at trial to hear and question any witnesses who would testify against you.
El derecho a escuchar e interrogar testigos que presten testimonio en su contra durante el juicio.
You also have the right at trial to testify and to have witnesses testify for you, and those witnesses could be made to appear at no expense to you.
Usted también tiene el derecho a prestar testimonio a su favor durante el juicio y a presentar testigos que atestiguen a su favor. A estos testigos se les puede obligar a comparecer sin costo sobre su persona.
You also have the right to the presumption of innocence that requires that a charge against you be proven beyond a reasonable doubt before a finding of guilt could enter against you.
Usted también tiene derecho a ser presunto inocente a menos que el cargo se demuestre más allá de duda razonable o que se declare culpable.
You also have a right to appeal that finding of guilt after trial.
Usted también tiene el derecho de apelar un fallo de culpabilidad después de un juicio.
Do you understand that these are your constitutional rights and that by pleading guilty today, you will be giving them up in this case?
¿Entiende usted que estos son sus derechos constitucionales al declararse culpable hoy? ¿Estaría usted renunciando a estos derechos? ¿Entiende?
Sí, sí.
Yes, yes.
Paragraph 6 sets forth the consequences of your plea. Did you go through those carefully?
Bueno, luego en el párrafo 6 habla de las consecuencias de su declaración de culpable. ¿Usted revisó esas consecuencias?
Sí,
Yes.
Did you make sure that the prosecutor's recommendation that's written in paragraph 6C accurately reflects what they said they were going to recommend pursuant to the plea agreement?
¿Y usted se aseguró de que la recomendación de la Fiscalía que está escrito en el párrafo 6C refleje precisamente lo que ellos fue lo que dijeron en cuanto a recomendación de esta declaración de culpable? ¿Se aseguró de eso?
sí, sí.
Yes, yes.
But you understand that as the judge, I don't have to follow their recommendation or anyone's recommendation.
¿Entiende usted que
I'm
como
being
juez yo no
judged.
estoy obligada a seguir la recomendación ni tampoco la recomendación de nadie?
I can sentence you to anything up to and including the maximum allowed by law.
Yo podría sentenciarlo a lo que sea, incluso hasta el máximo permisible por la ley.
And in this case, that would be 90 days in jail, $1,000 fine, and 2 years of probation.
En este caso, eso sería 90 días de cárcel, $1,000 de multa y 2 años de libertad a prueba.
You understand that?
¿Entiende eso usted?
Sí,
Yes.
You also understand if you are not a citizen of the United States, this plea could have immigration consequences.
También entiende que si usted no es ciudadano de Estados Unidos, esta declaratoria puede tener consecuencias con la inmigración.
sí, sí.
Yes, yes.
Did you go over all of these consequences with Ms. Pimentel?
¿Y usted revisó todas estas consecuencias con la abogada señora Pimentel?
Sí,
Yes.
And Ms. Pimentel heard your duties pursuant to Padilla and Sandoval.
Y señor Pimentel, ¿usted revisó esto con el caso de con el señor Sandoval?
I did, Your Honor.
Yo sí lo hice, su señoría.
Mr. Rodriguez Doblado, has anyone made any threats or promises other than the recommendation from the prosecutor to get you to plead guilty today?
Señor Rodríguez Doblado, ¿alguien le hizo a usted alguna amenaza o alguna promesa, Aparte de lo que le recomendó la abogada o el fiscal para obligarle a declararse culpable hoy.
No,
No.
Are you doing so freely and voluntarily then?
Entonces se declara culpable en forma libre y voluntaria hoy.
soy voluntaria.
Yes, voluntary.
Paragraph 11 is a statement in your own words of what you did that makes you guilty of this offense.
El párrafo 11 es una declaración en sus propias palabras de qué fue lo que hizo usted que lo hace culpable de este delito.
It reads as follows.
Y esto lee tal como sigue.
On December 22nd of 2021,
El 20
in the city of Bothell, Washington,
el 22 de diciembre de 2021 en la ciudad de Buffalo, en Washington,
I did operate a motor vehicle in a manner that was both negligent and likely to endanger property,
yo operé un vehículo motorizado de una forma que era ambos negligente y probablemente podría en peligro la propiedad
by losing control of my vehicle and colliding with another vehicle,
al perder control de mi vehículo y chocando con otro vehículo,
causing significant damage to both vehicles after consuming an alcoholic beverage.
causando un daño importante a ambos vehículos después de haber consumido una bebida alcohólica.
Is that a true and accurate statement?
¿Eso es una declaración verdadera y precisa?
Sí, sí,
Yes, yes.
Do you adopt that statement as your own?
¿Usted adopta esta declaración como sus propias palabras?
sí.
Yes, yes.
Then to the charge of negligent driving as charged here under this cause number in count 2, how do you plead?
Ahora entonces, al cargo de conducir en forma negligente, tal como se le acusa aquí en la número de causa y el cargo número 2, ¿cómo se declara usted entonces?
Sí, ya estoy culpable.
Yes, I am guilty.
Guilty plea will enter. I find it's knowingly, voluntarily made, and that there is a legal and factual basis for accepting the defendant's plea of guilty.
Muy bien, se asienta la
And that's enough of that for me right now. I thank you guys for being here. We're going to watch something I've just found on the computer. We'll see what we do with it. It will not be a translator case unless the judge is going to really surprise us. But give me one. Jeez. Is that right?
Willful contempt and incarceration consequences for any willful violation of this court order and rules. So at this point, this is
I don't know what this is, but why is it so fast? Let's see how fast it plays. It's not another interpreter. It can't be. This is old. This is old court. Let's see what happens.
as I said, Rochelle Rowe versus Christopher Ramirez.
I'll just slow it down, I guess, and then when she gets sounding like she's drunk, you tell me, and then we'll speed it back up.
Willful to contempt and incarceration consequences for any willful violation of this court order and rules. So at this point, this is, as I said, Rochelle Rowe versus Christopher Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez is represented by attorney Leah Bassi, and Ms. Rowe is a pro se petitioner. So the way this will work is that I will swear both parties in, and then the petitioner bears the burden of proof in this case by preponderance of the evidence, so she gets to go first. She will tell the court everything she wants the court to know about why she has filed this petition and why she is seeking a continuance of the order for 12 months if she is. And then she will be able to introduce any evidence or attempt to introduce any evidence she wishes to. And we will go from there. Then Ms. Abbasi will have the opportunity to cross-examine Monroe and ask any questions she has regarding any of the testimony or evidence that's been presented. And then once we've heard from Ms. Monroe and any witnesses and testimony, if there are any other witnesses, then it will be Mr. Ramirez's chance to testify if he chooses to or present any evidence or testimony. Ms. Abbasi, I believe from the filings, was your client arrested in this case?
Yes, he was arrested on May 26th and the CPO was taken out. It was applied for on the 20, let me make sure I'm getting this right.
It looks like it was filed on the 30th.
Filed on the 30th. It was granted. The order was signed on the June 1st. So they actually skipped a day in there.
Okay, so I just need to make sure, I'm sure you have done so. And before, when it's his turn, I'll make sure I will reiterate that you've gone over with him that anything, if he chooses to testify in this case, can be used against him in his criminal case and can detrimentally affect that criminal case.
Yes, Your Honor. So I anticipate that at that point where he needs to make that decision, we would be asking either for a breakout room or just to step away and I can speak with him over the phone to make that decision.
Okay. We will do that then. All right. And so at this point, Ms. Ramirez, if you would unmute yourself, please, sir. And then if both of you would please raise your right hands, Ms. Rowe. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury, Ms. Rowe?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Ramirez.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you both. You can lower your hands. All right. So at this point, Ms. Rowe, you filed this petition. How long have you known Mr. Ramirez?
Since 2016.
And
October.
just to be safe, can you state your full name for the record, ma'am?
Rochelle Garvino Rowe.
Okay. And at any point, did you start living together?
Yes.
Around when was that?
In March of 2018 to March of 2020. And then when the lease was up, we went our separate ways. And then for 2 years. And then no, it wasn't for 2 years. No, we got back together. Yeah, it was 2 years. We just got back together. So the lease was up March of 2020. And then we just got a lease together again in November 2022.
Okay. And did y'all start dating or in an intimate relationship before November 2022?
Yeah, so we were together when we lived together the first time, and then we separated when the lease was up March 2020, and then we got back together. We started dealing again maybe like August or so 2020 or something like that. And then we got more serious. I believe it was like March 2021 is when we actually made it official and got back together. Like we actually were in a relationship. And then yeah, we've been together ever since. And then we just moved back in here November 2022. We moved back together 2022.
All right. And so why did you file? Well, let me ask you this just to be clear. Have you ever been married?
No.
And do you have any children together?
No.
All right. Are there any shared accounts, monetary accounts, utilities, rent?
Yeah, so there's shared rent. Both of our names were on the lease, and the utilities were in my name. Both of our names are on the lease and the utilities are in my name.
And do you both get mail there?
I think I get mail that I don't really remember. I've probably seen him get mail here once, like one envelope.
All right. And so why did you file for this a petition for a protective order in this case?
So we've had a history of like domestic violence. There's been a history of like aggression and stuff between us getting out of hand. I sent some evidence from like even when we lived together the first time. And it just everything has just been getting worse. So what caused me to do it this time was okay, are you asking the details of everything that led to this? Are you asking the details of the info of exactly what happened, or are you asking?
Just tell me what you want me to know about why you filed this order of protection for this order of protection.
So I was frustrated with him. We share a car. I was frustrated with him, and
I'm gonna pause for a minute. You share a car.
so we shared a car. So his car was messed up. So we were sharing my car while we were living together recently, and I've
But that
always
car is in your name and you pay for it?
yes. So I've always asked, like, give me a heads up ahead of time if you wanted to do something. He'd always like do stuff last minute. So he last minute asked me, to go use my car to get a haircut to go to someone who's someone who had passed in his job. And I said, okay, it was around 2 o'clock. But then I let him know I ended up missing my training session because he came back late and I was like upset about that. I'm frustrated. So Monday and Wednesdays are like the days I would clean up and do stuff around the house because after work, I would run out to try to do training and stuff like that. So since, he was gone, I was missing that, I decided to just fold the clothes. So I was frustrated. My friend called me on FaceTime and I'm just venting to her about a lot of stuff that we had going on and just me being frustrated. I originally sat down to watch a show and fold the clothes, and I was frustrated because I'm like, okay, I came in from the gym the night before, the dishes were piled up, and he was sitting next to a pile of clothes, and there was clothes in the room, and he didn't fold and stuff like that. So I was just voicing some stuff to her. He heard me talking about him and stuff like that, and then he came out. At first, he was saying I was too loud, he was working. Then eventually he came out and was arguing with me and saying I was lying and stuff like that, how I just put all the clothes there. And he didn't even know the person who I was speaking to. They've never met. He'd never met my friend. So what I did, being that she called me on FaceTime, I lift my phone up. I lift my phone up and I took to the washing machine to show her, like, listen, look at all the clothes I have. I have the towels, I have my daughter's school clothes, and I have my gym clothes all in this couch. I don't wash them together. And I was showing her, I said, look at this washing machine. I had the camera up like that. I said, look at the washing machine. There's no way in hell that I just did all of this right now. Like that's what I was like, we started arguing and whatnot. Oh, he was saying I was lying and stuff like that, cursing me and calling me a Bumby and all this other stuff and whatnot. And then he got close. He was in the kitchen getting something to eat. And like while I was talking to my friend, he was there arguing back and forth while he was doing whatever in the kitchen. And then he got closer to me because I was already standing up because I was showing her the stuff. So he got closer to me in my face. So what I did, I turned my back because I was always on FaceTime. I turned my back towards him and I said, look at this, look at him in my face right now. Look at him. I cursed. I cursed. I said, look at this. Is it okay if I just say what I said? I said, look at this bitch ass nigga in my face right now. Like, look what he's doing right now in my face. And then he got mad because he was so close in my face. And then he got mad and he been mad, but he knocked the phone out of my hand. My first response was, so you're gonna hit me. That's how hard he knocked the phone out of my hand. It wasn't even like and then I said, oh, so you're gonna knock the phone out of my hand? And then again, that's how hard he did it. It eventually left a bruise that I didn't even realize was there until I was walking the officer through everything. But anyway, so
Ma'am, you need to breathe. You need to literally breathe. You have not taken a single breath, I think, in the last 5 minutes.
he had the plate in one hand, and then he had a fork in the other hand. So I turned to him, like when he did that, because I was like this, when he did that, I was like, so you gonna hit me, you gonna knock the phone out of my hand? And then he said, oh, I wish you, girl, I'm not, I wish you. So he was doing like, flexing at me with a fork in his hand and whatnot. And, like I knew not to hit him back. I knew not to do anything. Like I can tell he wanted to hit me. First of all, I wasn't even being aggressive to him. And I got the phone knocked out of my hand before he just went back in his office or whatever and closed the door. So what I did, I just took a picture that was from his mom. Like it was a gift from his mom, and it was like we were gonna decorate the apartment with it, but we just never put it up. So I just took it and I tossed it in my frustration. And in his office, away from him, I did not hit him with a picture. He even messaged my mom and said that I tried to hit him with a picture, meaning he never got hit. So I tossed the picture away from him just out of frustration, just out of, and then I turned around and then he grabbed me by my hair, like pulled me back, like you fucking bitch. And he pulled me back. And then I fanned off of him, like just got away. And then I went and I grabbed my phone that was on the floor. And I told my friend, no, I'm gonna call you back. He got me fucked up. I'm about to call the police. So that's what happened. I called the police and then they came. And at first I guess he was denying everything, that he did anything. And then as I was walking the officer through what happened step by step, that's when, and through the emotion of everything, that's when I seen I had a bruise on my hand from how hard he knocked the phone out of my hand. I didn't even know that was there originally. So that's what happened, and he got arrested. And the reason why I decided to push it to a no contact was not only the fact that, because he was even lying to the officer about doing anything. He was reaching out to my family and saying that I was lying and how he didn't do anything. And I remember I was on the phone. I was on the phone. I forgot exactly who it was I was there. I was on the phone, talking about what happened. And he was like, oh, she's lying. She's lying. I said, so you didn't pull my hair? No. So you didn't you me up. And as he said, I in his office away from him. I did not hit him.
Hold on. I skipped it somehow. I think we're ahead. I can't even remember what she said. We are. I'm afraid to inform you. It's playing on half speed. So I don't know exactly if the computer's smart enough to tell me if it's 40 minutes or if it's like more.
February. That was February that happened. The exact date I don't remember.
February of this year.
Yes, February of this year.
Okay, so you're saying you have pictures from both of those that you have submitted?
I submitted that, and I ended up getting.
Okay, so hold on. So we're gonna. So let me ask you this first. What are you saying happened with the stitches incident?
Okay, so with that, I had called the so I was texting him. So I went into his phone and I seen some messages from his mom about, her just saying that I'm not, a woman. Like, so I was venting to her about the issues that I was having with him. And then she was telling me something different. And then I went looking because I was just trying to make sense, like nothing, I was trying to like just make sense, but to see if someone was holding him accountable or if she was keeping the same energy with me or like, and I went looking in the phone and then I seen her telling him like, oh, I have her idea of what a wife or what a woman is and this and this. You want someone who hold a man, something like that. Just hold
This will
down.
be the last
I was
case.
frustrated with that. So I was next to him in bed texting him. And I guess his phone was went off. Like he woke up looking for his phone. So I put it on his chest, and then he seen the messages come in. So I was saying to him, like, no, and he was trying to talk, and I was saying, no, I don't want to talk to you. I don't like, I was just venting, like getting it off. I didn't wake him up to try to talk to him or anything like that. I wanted him to see the messages when he got it, because I felt like there was really nothing to talk about. But I wanted him to know that I knew, and I was just, I don't even remember all that I was saying. I mean, if it gets there, I can eventually get that too. But I was messaging him. Long story short, we got into it because he's sitting right next to me and he would always get in my face. Like he always gets in my face when we're arguing. Like I could be sitting on the couch. There's a time I was sitting on the couch and he walks over to me to lean over into I don't know, he always feels a need to get into my face when we're arguing. So he got into my face. And like when we were like literally right next to each other in the bed talking loud, there was no need for that. So he got into my face and I pushed him like that, like get out of my face, and then he hit me back. Like don't hit me. So, all right, whatever. I got out of the bed and we got into it. And then, yeah, we got into it. And then I hit him and then he hit me back. And then he pushed me. He pushed me so hard that I hit the back of my head, head, like right here. I hit this into my coffee table. Into the bedside table. I went flying. So when that happened, the back of my earring went into the back of my ears and I had to get stitches for it because it was bleeding. But anyway, I called the police because I wanted him to leave. He was saying, no, I'm not leaving. It's my shit. It's my shit. I paid the rent. I paid it. I ain't leaving. You leave it. That's what he was saying. And then when the cops came again, I never wanted him to get arrested. When the cops came, okay, they had us separated. I just want him to leave. I thought he would have left. I'm calling the cops. I'm bleeding. Hello, just leave. They're probably gonna get in trouble if they find out, but he didn't leave. And when they came, they kept us separated. So I was just crying and stuff. I was upset still, but I never said what happened. I never told him because I never wanted him to get arrested. And when we got back together now, that's when they're telling me that, or the other, because it was two officers, one was with him, the other one was. But anyway, they came to me and they were saying like he said that I woke him up out of his sleep with a punch in the face. And I'm like, what? Like that's not true. So, and then when we were going back and forth, I thought I had that via text, but I don't. But when we were going back and forth, and I was, cursing him out and arguing with him about lying to the police and me saying like, how dare you? Like, I didn't even say what happened and you're just gonna go lie on me. He didn't, because you called the cops on me, duh. So that's why he did that. So the reason why we're here today is because I feel like things have gotten worse between us. I don't know if you see the pictures. I had stitches on my hand.
So we have to, you have to tell me what those are, and then the clerk will need to pull them up.
Okay. Well, long story short, for now, we've gotten gradually worse. Nothing has been improving. Nothing has been improving at all. So with that being said, and I feel like because I didn't press charges or even show them what happened or anything like that, I feel like that made him comfortable because again, I'm going to be honest with you, only one time, he's grabbed me up and I sent the screenshot of when he messaged when we were going back and forth when I had told him to get out of my place. And then, I was saying that you grabbed me up and he apologized for it. So other than that, he's never really just come, and just we were arguing, but I wasn't even talking to him. I wasn't being aggressive. I wasn't in his face. I was avoiding him at this point, saying go back into the office. I'm not even talking to you. Why are you in the email conversation? Blah, blah, blah. And then he, I wasn't being aggressive at all. And I felt like me calling the police and not showing them or anything made him feel comfortable to handle me the way he did because I didn't do anything. I felt like he felt and I told him, I didn't, after we made peace again and whatnot, I didn't want you to get arrested and blah, blah, blah. I feel like me doing that made him feel comfortable to take it up a notch. And I just wanted to protect myself. I did not feel safe, especially since he lied about everything. And it's I had a birthday trip that was planned June 8th to the 12th or something, I think it was. And this was planned since March. And I was making payments too. And it's this all just happened right before that. This is the man who's paying the rent, who's the financial provider here. I showed, there's record that, with his card on it that he's paying the rent. I don't even know the login to log up in there anymore. He's the one that pays it. So it just makes no sense for me to, lie about something so big as this. And now I'm sitting here in limbo and just kind of stressed out about what's going to happen. I have a daughter, where to go. I even written this man 4-page letters about how, we can't do this anymore. I'm frustrated. I want to go our separate ways. I don't know how many times I told him we're going our separate ways. When the lease is up, I'm going to go and tell them, in August, we're going to go and let them know that we're going our separate ways and we're not renewing the lease. My plan has always been to, after my birthday month and after his birthday month, whatever, to just put all my money towards my cars to pay that off. So when the lease is up in November, I'm going my separate way. That's what I had always planned to do. It makes absolutely no sense for me to do this to the head of household, the person who is paying rent, okay, to put myself in this financial stress right now for something that he did not do. It makes no sense. I feel like it's just, I want to say for me, it's obvious that he did everything that I'm saying he did, because why would I do this? Now I'm sitting here stressed out. I just got my raise this year. I went from $16.50 to $23.49, and I'm grateful for it, but I needed time to get my finances in order. So it makes absolutely no sense for me to go through all of this and stress my own self out when I was smooth sailing until November for something that he did not do. I just don't see the point of it. It's not even me by myself. I'm here with my daughter. Like, I'm easily stressed. I had hypothyroidism that had went to Hashimoto since we moved back in here together. Like, it's just a lot going on. Like, it has been going on, and I did that to protect myself mentally, emotionally, and physically, because he lied. I'm not gonna say he was in here beating me up every day. I'm not gonna say I'll just sit down, say something to me, you'll come and punch me or anything. Like, I'm not gonna say things happen like that. But I couldn't guarantee that if we got into something again, that nothing would happen, especially if, especially with what just happened. And I feel like a part of it was my fault, because I made him feel comfortable by not showing them. I just feel like I had to do it. And I didn't want to do it. I even mentioned, like, if we could come to some agreement, because I started to feel guilty. Like, I didn't want it to be where it messes up his, anything goes on his record. But then it's like, okay, I have to do what's best for me. Like, I feel like he should have thought about that before he did what he did. It's not for me to worry about X, Y, Z. It's for me to make sure that I'm in a better position mentally, emotionally, and physically. And that's why I went through with it.
All right. So you have, Ms. Broom, do you have any photographs from the petitioner? Just one moment. Our clerk may be checking.
I sent like 3 different emails.
Oh,
Okay, so
okay.
label docket 1. Is that the one you want to show?
I'm not sure. I don't remember which order it was in, but you can upload any one and I'll be glad to explain what they are.
Okay, Judge, you want me to show the person?
You may. And have these been shared with the respondent's attorney?
So I couldn't get that out. We can move. Yeah. So yeah, that's back in 2019. That's back in 2019, when we had gotten physical, and I had to get stitches on my hand and my fingers, and I was in a brace because of that. But I never told them what happened. I never said anything. I just went and got my hand taken care of.
Were you all living together at that time?
I was in 2019, when we were living together, me, him, and my daughter.
All right. Are there any other?
Yeah, that's when I had to get the stitches and the sprain. I had stitches and a sprain on I'm not even sure what you call it, on that hand.
And what led up to the interaction on that day?
Honestly, Yana, I don't remember exactly what we were arguing about. It was so long ago. Like, it was in 2019. That's how bad we are. Like, it's just toxic how we get. I don't remember, but I just uploaded that to show proof of domestic violence.
Okay. What is this exhibit?
This is back in May. It was May 21st last year. I mean, May 21, when he disrespected me. We were in my bed and he was disrespecting me. This was before we moved in together. I was at my own place. And I said, you know what, just get the fuck out. And when we were leaving, he just snapped kind of too. It was just weird, because like we were leaving and I was still, running my mouth like, I'm sick of this shit, all you do. Like, he just snapped and grabbed me. I'm tired of telling you, I'm sick of you disrespecting me. Watch how you talk to me. I'm sick and tired of your mouth. And was like just grabbed me up and whatnot, and like was tussling, like just grabbing me. He didn't hit me, but he grabbed me up and like was just kind of roughing me up and stuff. And then Yeah, I was telling him to leave. I was telling him to leave. He didn't want to leave. So I actually left and pretended. I went back into my room to get my phone and pretended that I was gonna call the police. And that's when I came back, that's when he was out to his car, whatever. Because I was saying I'm calling the cops and calling. He didn't care. He didn't want to leave my place. I guess it was just a power thing. I don't like why he just didn't want to leave. And then when I went to get my phone, I pretended to call. I didn't even call them. That's when I got back to the front, he was already down the stairs and to his car. And then I uploaded this to show. It says, I don't want to be with you. You up in my shit, violating me. I'm done. And I want to, I'm done. I want to just leave this toxic ass shit right where it's at. And then he put, I grabbed you. I apologize. And then I put, we ain't fucking going nowhere. So clearly you're not man enough. Okay, so yeah, so and I want my money back and all this other stuff because we were supposed to, like, at that time we were going on a trip and I had paid towards the trip and I was saying I wanted my money back. So that was him admitting to grabbing me up. And that was in 2021. This is the incident I described, and I sent that message to his mom. I mean, I sent it to his mom, and then his mom was like, I'm sorry that this happened. You and Chris are both wrong. So it was like, this is why, like, you know, it was like, no, and I get it, that's her son, but it's like, he doesn't tell her these things. Like, she never knows what's going on unless I say, unless I reach out and tell and whatever. So it was just crazy to me to hear her say, y'all are both wrong, and you don't even know what happened, but whatever. So that was what happened when I was shoved earlier on this year in February, and I had to get stitches behind my ears. And I was on my way, because I thought I wouldn't be able to upload it because it's been over 24 hours. I was on my way to get it, and it was like 20 minutes to get there. So I just came back because they wouldn't let me get it because of HIPAA laws. But
Okay, your testimony is this is you on that date.
Yes, this is me in February. And I was taking the pictures and I sent it to his mom. And as you see, it's very deep. I had to get stitches on it. But I this time I did let my doctors know what happened. And again, I was headed to get it, but I don't think I would have made it back on time with the traffic.
Okay.
So again, the reason why I did this is because, like, you know, we tend to living together and stuff like that and being around each other, like, we get, like, you know, you make friends. It's so toxic and sad to say, like, how do you make friends? Like, just speaking about it, like, why do you go back to this, like, saying it? But I did it because I didn't want to, you know, just put it to the side again when he's being nice or whatever, or we ended up being friends again. Like, I just want this, like, I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, I just wanted to protect myself.
Okay. You said there was a picture of your hand. Do you know, is that true or not true?
That is the picture of my hand. I mean, what with the sprain? I think that might have been
No, you mentioned that did you submit any other pictures you wanted the court to consider?
No, that was a picture of my hand that we saw with the stitches, and then the second one was a message where he admitted to grabbing me up and like roughing me up, and then the second one is just to show what happened when I was shoved and how I hit. Yeah, that was it.
Okay. So did he come back to the home before he was served with the ex parte order?
He did. He came back to the home. So he texted me asking to meet to come here to get his stuff because he had left his keys. So I didn't want to be here. So I had my brother come here and I left. I had my brother come and I let him in on the patio. And then I had walked out and I had left. And then he got something. I was sitting in my car, waiting for my brother to call me and tell me that he's gone. And that's another thing too.
So wait, let me ask you this. So did he move out before?
He didn't move out. He just came and got a few things, and then he came back the very next day with an officer to get some more things.
Okay.
And try to get the key. But he didn't say he was like, we never spoke. We never had an actual conversation. And even that conversation when he was coming here was just via text. And that was that. We never had a conversation about anything about moving or nothing. He just came and got some stuff and then he left. And then he just showed up the next day late at night with the officer. That was it.
Have you had any more communications from him since then?
Yes, we have had communications, when he was blaming me and saying I initiated the whole thing, saying I'm evil. So I was reaching out to him because the officer told me I couldn't keep his key. So at the time I didn't have the key on my person. So I was reaching out to him to let him know, okay, you can come and get some stuff because I didn't want it to, because she said by law I couldn't do that because at the time he wasn't served. And, and I showed her that I had something in the word, like it's something pending. And she said, well, it's not thing yet. You can't do that, blah, blah. So to protect myself and not put myself in the wrong, I was reaching out to him to let him know, you can come get your stuff. You can come in, I'm not trying to keep you out of the apartment or anything like that. I'm not trying to do that and whatnot. That was when we communicated. It was via text. We never really had a conversation. And then we were going back and forth via text where he's telling me it's my fault, everything is my fault, I'm evil, he's done providing for me, go half on the rent, all your shit is gonna be out on the 4th, eviction on the 4th.
So hold on, is this after he was arrested and released?
Yes, this is after he was arrested and released. Eviction is on the 4th. All your shit's gonna be out. Let's pay half. I'm done with you. You're evil. Everything I have is at risk. You initiated the whole thing. You were talking loud about me. You were talking about me like a dog, and it's not just putting everything on me. And I've admitted what I've done. I've admitted to talking loud. I've admitted that I know he heard me, but I just genuinely, I don't think that gives you a right to do what you did. And
So let me ask you this, how many texts did you receive from him like that after he was released?
oh my God. We were going back and forth for a while, like maybe a couple days. It was a while. It was a lot of text messages, a lot of back and forth. But I think once, because I told him not to talk to me, don't contact me, like he's not supposed to be even be talking to me.
It seemed like a lot of her texting him and him finally responding with like 6 words, and then her renewing her attack and going on and on again, to be honest.
I don't think he was served yet. So when he was served, I think he was served because he stopped responding and stuff like that. And I got a call from block number like in the morning, like 2 in the morning, and I reached out and asked if it was him. He said no. Then I was getting butt dials. That's what he said it was, or his attorney told me that's what he said it was on WhatsApp, whatever, twice. And that's so I was like, okay, why do you keep calling me? Like I felt like he was trying to get me to reach out to him or to have something to go again, like, to show that
So when did you receive 2 butt dials, allegedly?
um
Around when?
I'll tell you right now. This was June 12th. Yeah, 2 was on June 12th. When I was coming back from my trip, actually, I received two calls from him on June 12th, one at 3:22 and another one at 6:39.
Another humble brag about
Is
the
that
trip.
PM or AM?
They're both PMs. And then I had called him, but prior to him even being served, I had called him to let him know. I think it was late at night. And I called him to let him know because I had the key. That was the first time I was reaching out. I was with my friends and they were saying like, well, you can't do that and stuff. So that was the first time that I reached out to him to let him know, okay, I wanted you to know you could come and get your stuff at 2 in the morning. So it was loud where I was at. I just wanted to do that. And then he said he couldn't hear me. And I hung up. And then I just texted him while I was reaching out. But other than that, we hadn't had any conversation. And I called him to let him know to get his stuff after. And when he realized it was me, he hung up and said, oh, I can't talk to me. He just hung up. So I just left it alone because I'm like,
So
what?
did you call him after he was served with a protective order?
I think so. That's when he said, I can't talk to you anymore. But I didn't know exactly when he was served. That's when I realized he was served because he said, oh, I can't talk to you. And he just hung up.
Why were you calling him?
To tell him that he can come and get his stuff because I was leaving. Because I was going on the trip on June 8th. It was June 8th to the 12th. And again, I was told that I was by law, like I couldn't keep his stuff. And he was talking about, like, he sent me messages, oh, I have mail coming, and you can't keep me out and this and this. So I was just trying to protect myself. But when we did get here, that I didn't, and that was that. Once he said, oh, I can't talk to you, and hung up, like whatever. I just left it alone. Like, but I was just trying to let him know that he can come and get his stuff. I just always said, even via messages, just have escort. Like, I just wanted him to have police escort for for my protection, because again, like, I just didn't know what would happen, what could happen, and I didn't want to be told, oh, she's lying again. And then he would say stuff like, oh, you're doing all of this just because I didn't propose. Like, nothing, it was just too much. Like, I just wanted to order protection before, just to protect myself.
Okay. And he's still on the lease?
He's still on the lease.
All right. So at this point, Ms. Abbasi, you are free to cross-examine the witness.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Rose, so I'm going to ask you to kind of repeat the last thing it was you said. Why is it you feel you need an order of protection?
I felt like I needed an order of protection because it's constant, like, back and forth. Things have gotten worse between us, and I wasn't even being aggressive to him, and he did what he did, and then he lied about it. And he said that that I was making the whole thing up, and I was just mad at him. I'm going through all of this just because he didn't propose. So that's why I did an order of protection, because I didn't feel safe and I felt threatened, and I didn't want us to get into another heated argument after we made up or whatever, and just end up going through the whole thing again and it getting worse. So I just went through with it and got an order of protection this time, because it's like a pattern. And this is the one thing, I've never done it before. And like, to avoid it and get out of it and try to protect myself, I just went forth with the order of protection.
Okay. But what you've mentioned is there is a history of you being frustrated with him for not proposing to you, correct?
So we did promise, so I was gonna move with my mom, right? So I was gonna move with have my mom help me to I was gonna have her help me get an apartment. And he begged me not to do it. I said, no, I'm not trying to shack up with you again. I'm not trying to do this again. And he was like, yeah, no, I promise you that it'll be done by such and such date. And I just give me some time. My car's messed up, and I understood it, and I believed it. I wanted to be supported because I have a move. He has a move. My move was in November. His is in December. We both had our own places, so it was a lot of money that was going out. Plus, his car was messed up. So like, okay. So there was times when I was frustrated because I'm still in here playing house, okay, and doing all of this stuff, and nothing, and not getting any, still not engaged and not even getting support. Consistent support with doing stuff in the house. He would say like, oh, I'm paying the extra $1,700 in rent and I still got a full clothes. Like, he just had this mindset that because he's paying the rent, I was supposed to do everything. So yes, I was frustrated that it didn't happen, but with everything that happened, I wanted to be clear, like, that's no longer something that I wanted. I wasn't looking for, okay, I want to be engaged still, let's go forth with it, and blah, blah, blah. Like,
If somebody's paying my rent, yeah, I'm gonna be doing all the things. Are you joking? How much is rent? He was paying all the rent. What? How? Oh.
with everything that has happened, like, it's always been, I had so many messages even reaching out to him and telling him I'm done. We're like in August, we're gonna call them in the lease office and we're going our separate ways. Like, me having him as a husband or that was no longer something that I was looking for to have. Like, but yes, I was frustrated that it didn't happen. That he didn't do what he said he was gonna do. But as time went and as we got worse, it's not, that's nothing that I would have even accepted at this point.
Okay. So you talked about messages going back and forth. You actually had sent him text messages specifically. You didn't want to play house, correct?
Yeah.
And if he wanted you to be selfless, then he had to take care of you, correct?
If you want what?
Wanted you to be selfless, then you needed to take care. He needed to take care of you, correct?
No, that doesn't even sound, I wouldn't use the word selfless. That doesn't even sound like my word. I'm not sure. Are you're not reading from a text message, are you?
Do you recall sending a text message to that effect?
No, selfless. But and take care. No, I don't remember sending a message. Like, that's what I'm asking. Are you reading verbatim from a message? Like I sent screenshots because that doesn't even sound like my.
Okay, well, right now you're not asking me questions. Would it help to refresh your recollection if you saw a copy of text messages you had sent to him?
Yeah, it would.
Okay. If I could ask the clerk to publish Respondents Exhibit 1.
This is a nightmare. She should not be cross-examining like this. I don't think you need. Do you think so? This is Judge Woke. You think she's gonna put this in place against this guy?
Madam Clerk, I don't know if you have that, if you, it takes some minutes to be able to sort through and find them.
I'm sorry, what was, I'm sorry.
Exhibit 1, it's the page 1 of the document.
Oh, so you responded.
Exhibit 1? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me go. Which page?
We're looking at a respondent exhibit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. And it's just Exhibit 1, page 1. All right, Ms. Rowe. Are you able to see the exhibit which is on the screen?
Yes, I'm trying to read it. Life
Yes.
happens, shit happen, but if you expect peace in here, expect me to be selfish. You should take care of me so that I can be. Stop expecting me to be okay with playing house because I'm fucking not, and you knew that. So yeah, that's okay. Now that I hear the whole thing, like now that I have the whole thing, it does make sense. So he's saying to me, wait, life, I don't know what happened, what was said before that. Life happens, shit keep happening, but if you expect peace, yeah, so if you expect peace in here, so I'm frustrated, okay? So, he's not helping, he's not doing anything and stuff like that, so that's what I'm saying. You want me to be selfless, you expect me to be selfless, you should take care of me so that I can be. I'm talking about, like, emotionally and mentally. This is the stuff that I've always said to him. No, I'm gonna read the whole thing because there's more though. Stop expecting me to play house and be okay with playing house because I'm not. So now I'm here in the same position with the same man, feeling dumb as fuck. I let you know hold on. I let you know ahead that the shit wouldn't be pretty because I wouldn't mentally feel right being in the situation again. But you take it for granted. Now you want me to put how I'm feeling on the back burner because your car fucked up. So you had a bad month. I did too, but had you made it a priority to do right by me, you wouldn't even have been stressed. But you're so selfish and can't even see that. So what I was saying was at that time, okay, I was venting to him or just, complaining about the fact that I'm in here and you're still wanting me to do these things. You think that, he said to me, like, let's work on communication. So my whole thing is, what do you mean, let's work on communication? If that's the case, why did you have me in here? Why did you lie and say that you were going to do this by a certain day? Yes, like I said, before you even pulled this up, I was frustrated that, he didn't do it and he didn't keep his word. But as things gotten worse, okay, like that's nothing that I'm still looking forward to. So I'm not gonna go and do all of this just because he didn't propose. And even in the message, yeah, like that's not. I even have messages with him when he was saying like, "Oh, you that mad? You did it just because I didn't propose." And I'm like, "Why would I do this?" Because at the end of the day, whether you propose or not, I was still, I guess you could say in a I guess win-win situation. I don't know what to call it because it was at another expense, but I was still in here only paying him $500, and then he from that 500, like he would turn around and give me money towards the rent. I mean to pay the bills that were in my name that for the household. So I still felt like okay, even though I wasn't engaged, it still was a benefit for me financially to be here. And at the time when we moved in, I still was only making $16.50. So it was still beneficial to me, you know, for I guess stability wise, you know, to be with him. So again, I'm not gonna do this just because he didn't propose. Or if that's the case, why wait now? Why wait till my birthday month when I already had plans and all this stuff going on? Why do this right now? It just doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but so what you're upset about is the frustration with how the relationship has gone, correct?
So yes, it was a frustration with how the relationship is going, how things are constantly getting worse, and you know, there's been no effort. He would say he's gonna wake up and go for walks with me in the morning. This is something that he said he was gonna do. He never did. He never made an effort. Then he'll say,
Okay. Let me pause you there. So it's the way the relationship is going. It's not that he's, you know, tried to come after you or anything like that, correct?
No, that's not correct. That's the dynamic of our relationship, how we're toxic, the way it's going, how we're constantly going back and forth, bickering and fighting and being physical with each other. That's what I mean with how the relationship is going.
Okay. Has he ever just kind of out of nowhere come up and attacked you?
So he never closed fists, hit me out of nowhere, but like I shared in the message, like in that screenshot, he came out of nowhere and just grabbed me up. And as he said, I apologize for grabbing you for he did apologize for doing that. But he never just walked up to me and like hit me or anything like that. It would be if we were going back and forth, things would always get escalated and he always lean into my face.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think that's my point. It's always when something is going on between you. He doesn't just explode and come attack you. There will be an argument and it escalates, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And you had said it earlier, I think you said it again. It's aggression between us. It's both ways, correct?
As far as what?
Aggression between you. You're aggressive to him as well.
The way I speak to him. Yes, I'm aggressive with the way I speak to him. I'm aware of that. And that's what he was texting me saying that I initiated the whole thing. When I'm frustrated, yes, I do curse at him. I talk out and say certain things. I admitted to what I said. Look at this bitch I said in my face right now. But I still don't feel like that justifies him to put his hand on me. That doesn't justify that, in my opinion.
Okay. This incident, which happened way back in February, do you recall that? You testified about it?
I'm sorry?
The February incident.
Okay.
You hit him first, didn't you?
No.
You didn't hit him first.
So it wasn't a hit. It was, okay, so he leaned in my face and we were in the bed. I'm like, get out of my face. And then he hit me. That's
okay,
what it wasn't, I did touch him first, but I wasn't trying to fight him. He leaned in my face and I'm like, okay, get out of my face. That's what that was. And then when I was, motion like get out of my face and I touched him, like get out of my face. That's when don't touch me. That's what he did. But it wasn't a closed fist. Like I was trying to fight him. Again, I was texting him. I wasn't even trying to speak to him. Like I wanted him to see this when he woke up and know that I seen what I seen. I wasn't trying to communicate. He woke up to me texting.
Okay, so in the aftermath of that, didn't you text him? Yeah, I hit you and you hit me back. Didn't you text that to him?
Yeah, so we got into it.
Okay,
and that's when I got pushed with the stitches. I mean, that's when I got hit with when he pushed me so hard and I ended up getting the stitches. But I didn't wake him up with a punch to the face. Like I didn't wake him up like threw a punch in the face, like what he said. I didn't just wake him up and hit him. He leaned in my face and I pushed him. I pushed pushed him back a little, like pushed him back, like get out of my face. And then he hit me. That's when he hit me, like don't hit me. And then I got out of the bed and we were going back and forth. I do know that I did hit him and then he pushed me, but I think I was hit again before that. I was hit again before I hit him and then got pushed.
Okay, but you didn't tell that to the police?
No, I didn't because I didn't want him to get arrested. like I said, I didn't want him to get arrested. And I have the stitches, and I had the medical records, but I didn't have time to do it. I didn't think that we could upload that. I could have been went and gotten. I don't know if this could be extended. I would gladly do it if we could have another day. But they closed at 5, and then I was told that I had to hurry up and get back here. And it was 20 minutes to get there, let alone, so I didn't want to risk not being able to show up. But if I can have time, I would gladly get the medical records from it, because I let my doctors know what happened. This time I did. The other times I didn't, when I got with my hand in 2019, but this time I did let my doctor know what happened.
Okay. So we have this incident in February, police are called and no one gets arrested. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And isn't that because he did not want the police to arrest you? That's what they were going to do?
No, I don't know how that could be possible, because I'm the one that called the police on him, and I don't know why they would be arresting me. I was the one that was leaking. Again, they didn't see it because I didn't show it to them. But and then there was bloody tissue on my desk, on my computer desk, that he actually got rid of. But no, I didn't not get arrested because he didn't want to press charges. Like, there was no bruises on him. I'm the one that had something. No one got arrested because I didn't want him to get arrested. I called the police with hopes that he would just leave for the night. And when he didn't leave, because be like, oh, this is my shit, I paid to run up in here. I ain't going where you leave. When he didn't leave, and they came, they separated us to get testimonies, and I didn't even say anything. And then that's when the other officer came back and told me that he said that I woke him up to a punch in the face. I woke him up out of his sleep with a punch in the face. That's what was said. Now, even that, like, if you look at the time, like, I mean, you can't, but even if we have another extension, I can get that too, because I was literally texting him all of that. I was texting him certain things. So again, I wasn't trying to wake him up. I had a screenshot that I sent to myself and all of that, and I can show the screenshots of the time and the messages and all of that. So it just wouldn't make any sense that I woke him up to a punch out of his sleep when I was in the middle of texting him.
Okay. So you didn't wake him up with a punch, but you do admit that you were the one who started it becoming physical. You hit him first, right?
Okay, I pushed him out of my way, like, but I didn't close fist hit him. He was leaned into my face. We were literally in the bed next to each other, already yelling. And I was like, he's right here, I'm here, and then he's leaning in my face. And it was more of like, get out of my face. And then when I did that, that's when he hit me.
Yes, ma'am. And you sent him a text message saying, yeah, I hit you and you hit me back, right?
When we were fighting, yeah, we were fighting, but not at that moment. I'm not referring to that very specific moment that you're talking about. I didn't get stitches in the bed from him just hitting me right then and there. We were getting into it. So that's what I was saying. I hit you and you hit me back. And again, that's how I got the stitches. That bed, what happened in the beginning is not what led to me getting stitches or there was more to it.
Okay. And when you took out this temporary protective order, you filled out a whole petition. They had a whole bunch of questions, correct? The petition, you had to write in the basis of why you wanted this order, correct?
I don't remember. I got assistance with it from the victims advocate. So I know I was assisted, but I really don't remember the details of it. I'm sorry.
So did they ask you questions as you were going through?
They did.
Okay. So did they ask you whether you believed he had a criminal record and committed crimes? Is that right?
I don't think he had a criminal record. I mean, I know he done some stuff and he did commit crimes, but I mean, but this was old. It's not related to what we had going on.
Okay. So for things related to why you would need a protective order, did you tell them about any of these prior things or why you need a protective order?
I told them about what happened. They asked me if he ever put his arms around my neck. I remember that was a question that they asked me, and I said no, but he did grab me up, and I was referencing to the incident with I think it was the second slide where he admitted to, yeah, I did. I should have never grabbed you. Like, he was admitted to what he did. But they were asking me certain questions and I was letting them know the history and what happened. And that's when they, I guess, assisted and agreed, like, okay, it does make sense to do an order of protection because we do have a history of this toxicity and it's best before things continue to get worse.
Okay, so on that written petition, you're saying that when asked to describe the crimes he's done, you told them about all those things. That's what's written on your petition?
Okay, I got assistance with doing it and questions were asked over the phone. I'm not sure which, I'm sorry. I don't know if you want to show me something because I don't think I've written anything. Like it was done for me. I got assistance. But they did ask me questions and I did answer the questions. So I'm not really.
Okay. So
I'm-
if that's not mentioned on your petition, these other incidents, that's just because the people who were helping you didn't write it down, but you told them.
I'm thawing an Uncrustable.
That the only thing mentioned is the family violence battery from 2023, just that one incident.
Oh, no, I mentioned more. I told them what happened. I didn't know that they didn't write it all down, but I would think that that is enough because, that's what recently happened and I had the stitches, or not even in 2023. I did it for like what happened recently. Not even,
You don't
I'm
have
sorry,
to.
not 20. I thought you were talking about the stitch here, but it was more of for what recently happened. And then I told them the history. Yeah, I did tell them the history of what was going on and whatnot. And they were asking me questions. Like I said, they asked if he ever grabbed me around my neck. And I was honest. I said he never grabbed me around my neck, but he did grab me. And then that's when I was telling them about different things that would happen.
Okay. So that whole history, you should be in there because that's what you told them, right?
Okay.
Okay. Let me ask you, you said you had these other problems and you've always, in whatever way, they've always worked out, correct? You've always apparently gotten back together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. This time was obviously different. No one was getting back together this time, right?
Right.
Okay. You knew after he was arrested, you knew he could come back to the house, correct? Just you couldn't see him. Well, no, you just couldn't have violent contact. You knew that part, right?
I'm sorry, say that again.
You knew that after he was arrested, you just couldn't have violent contact. There was not a provision saying he couldn't come to the house.
I didn't know that because I actually called the officer back. I called the office because she had asked me what I wanted to do. If I wanted to do a no contact or if I wanted to do, I forgot what the other one was called, but I remember her saying no contact. And I was, kind of crying and stuff. And I didn't know because I was thinking about the rent and like, I can't say no contact because like, okay, he still pays the rent. He lives like everything had happened. I didn't know what to do. I didn't get any consultation at the time. I wasn't sure. But then I did call the non-emergency 911 number. And I was able to get in contact with her. And then she told me that she did put it through and the judge had signed off on it for a no contact. That's what she put in, the judge had signed off on a no contact. So then I shortly found out that it wasn't a no contact, that it was just a non-violent contact. And that's when I went to get it escalated to a no contact.
Okay. So when you found out there was no violent contact, that's when you escalated it. You wanted more protection, correct?
Correct.
And you were saying you didn't think he was moving out, even though he was coming back to the apartment and taking his stuff. Is that right?
I didn't think he was moving out because he just took like a handful of things. Like he has some furniture in his office. He didn't come with a truck. He literally messaged me and said he want to come and get some things.
Okay.
Some things.
Well, he couldn't take everything because your brother was there, right?
He did take some things. What do you mean because my brother was there? What do you mean? Yeah, so he did come in and take some things. I didn't want to deal with him. So I opened the door and the officer was outside. I thought like he came with I thought they were together, but they weren't because he wasn't escorted, but I thought they were together at the time. But anyway, I came in and opened the door. So my brother told me that he was here. I was upstairs in a friend's apartment. I walked all the way down here, realized I forgot my key, walked back. And then by the time I came back, I seen him coming in. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, you know what, let me just go. I didn't even look at him. I just opened the door, walked there, unlocked the door, went and got unlocked the door for my brother. And yeah, I locked the door for my brother and I told him, just let me know when he's done, just call me when he's done. And I was in the car. Now I seen him walking out with his he had like a basket with some things in it. Like with some clothes and stuff. But so he did get some things and then he came back the very next day unannounced this time and with the officer.
Okay, so I want to make sure I have this right. This incident is May 26th where he gets arrested, correct? Is that right? Okay, and then he comes back to get his stuff on Monday the 29th. Does that sound right?
Yes.
And you are going up and downstairs and your brother is there, correct?
I called my brother because I didn't want to be here with him. So I called him. I told him just let me know when he's gone.
Okay. And your brother was threatening him, wasn't he?
No, he wasn't threatening him. And that's another thing. I also sent those messages. He was sending messages to my brother saying that he allowed him to put his hand on him and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, with everything that's going on, why would you not call the police if my brother put his hands on you with everything that's already going on? So that was another thing that was weird. And then the officer, when he did come, I let the officer know, and I showed messages where he's telling my brother that he wants to meet him. He does want to see him on Friday. When he does come back to get some random thing that he said to him, but he didn't even come on that day. He didn't even come on that day. And then yeah, it just didn't make any sense. Like, why do you want to see my brother? If you're saying that he put hands on you and all this other stuff, and why would you want to see him? Like, what do you want to see him for? So I have those messages as well. Because my brother sent it to me, but he never responded. I was advised to tell him don't even respond to him. So that's what I did.
Okay, so your brother was there the first day and you're saying he meaning Chris didn't call the police, right?
He came alone, but the police was literally pulled up right outside. When I was walking back, they were there. So I just assumed that I just thought they were it was related because they were literally right outside my window.
Okay. But then the next day on the 30th, he did come back with police to help him get his things, correct?
And the next day he came back to try to get the key and he grabbed like a few more things.
He came back with the police, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you still didn't think that he was trying to leave?
No, because this isn't the first time, like even when we lived together before, more recently, he's like, oh, I'm not leaving nowhere, you leave, because he's just, it's his shit, like he pays the rent, and that's what he would always say. But in the past, like if we got into something before, like he spent a couple of days at his mom's house and stuff like that, so I didn't think anything of it. Like he never said that he was leaving, like he just came and grabbed like, one time he grabbed the basket, and another time he came and grabbed like 2 pairs of shoes and I guess like a few more shirts. He still had stuff in there.
He never said he was leaving. He wasn't saying anything to you at all, right?
We weren't communicating. He was trying to, actually, no, that's not true. At the time, we didn't speak, but he was texting me saying, oh, you can't have my key. That's mine. I pay the rent. Even with that, he was never.
I haven't even been
He was trying to get his key.
Okay.
And
So he didn't block you on his phone?
We eventually blocked each other. We were both, yeah. He eventually blocked me.
So he blocked you, and then you kept trying to send him messages on WhatsApp, right? Because he blocked you regular text, correct?
He messaged me on WhatsApp first. I blocked him. There's messages where I'm saying, stop contacting me. You're not even supposed to be contacting me. Court is on the 21st. He's like, what are you talking about? I already went to court. What are you trying to do? I already went to court. I had to take a class and I paid $400. I was telling him, leave me alone. Don't contact me, because he was trying to blame me and say everything was my fault. Like and the messages, when I said we were going back and forth, there's a slew of them on WhatsApp, but he messaged me first. I didn't message him on WhatsApp first. I messaged him, but it wasn't first. I didn't initiate it.
Okay. But he stopped communicating with you completely, correct?
Okay.
True.
Okay.
In the chat.
And so when you
True.
couldn't reach him like that, you took a screenshot of the WhatsApp messages you've been trying to get to him, correct? You took a screenshot and you sent it from someone else's phone so he would get it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you recall in those messages that you were sending, you are texting him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, and he's just not answering, correct?
I mean, I sent it to my friend and she sent it. Like that was her. I don't know. That wasn't even from my number. So it was
never
wanted him to get the message.
You never texted him? I mean, sorry, you never sent him the WhatsApp messages 9 times?
Say that. I didn't say I didn't send him messages on WhatsApp. But what we both sent messages to each other. What did the message say?
So Ms. Rowe, you're gonna need to answer the question yes, no, or I don't know, and then you may explain, okay?
Okay.
So you admit you were sending him messages on WhatsApp and he wasn't responding, correct?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because we did go back and forth via messages on WhatsApp.
Okay, so you don't know if that happened, that he stopped responding to you.
He did stop responding, but we were going through a lot of messages. We were messaging each other back and forth. I'm not even sure in what which one you're talking about. Like there's times when he messaged me and said stuff, and so I'm just not sure what you're referencing because we have a lot of messages on WhatsApp.
Okay. But after the incident on the 26th, he's trying to get his stuff out of the apartment, correct?
On the 20
and after the 26th of May.
Yeah, so
after the day he was arrested, after that he's trying to get his stuff out of the apartment, right?
On Monday the 29th, yeah.
He comes back with the police to get his stuff, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you've not taken out any TPO, correct?
That's not true.
So when he came back on the 30th with the officers, you had already gotten a TPO?
So they told me I had applied for it and it hadn't been approved. I got an email saying that this doesn't mean that it's approved or anything like that. It was just an application. So I showed it to the officer. And that's when she told me that it's not, it's still pending and you can keep his key and stuff like that because he still lives here until that's gone through. And then I was showing him the messages with my brother. And then that's when she told me that the PTO also protects your family. But at the time, I know he wasn't served because it hadn't even gone through yet at that time.
Okay. So before he even knows he needs to use an officer to take his things and leave, he's already doing that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's already stopped responding to you at that point, right?
No, we weren't. I don't think we were communicating at that point. At that point, I was telling him to leave me alone. Like I wasn't communicating. Yeah, I don't think we were communicating about anything.
Okay. So you
That I believe.
Texting him on June 1st. I don't know what you're doing, what you're planning to do. That's fine. I was told I cannot keep your key. You didn't send a message like that on WhatsApp?
Yeah, I did because I was told I couldn't keep the key. But hold on, let me just go to I'm sorry, to follow.
Would you like to see, help refresh your recollection to see a copy of your WhatsApp screenshot you sent?
Sure.
Okay. If I could turn to Respondents Exhibit 3.
Yeah, I guess
We
they
can
were.
just zoom out a little bit. We're missing the bottom messages.
Hi, Mikey. How are you?
Okay, so looking at Respondents Exhibit 3, do you recognize this?
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing or what you're planning to do, and that's fine. I was told I cannot keep your key from you, and that's pretty much offering it back and asking if you wanted to come back and we leave and you're not responding. So there it is. You don't have to either, but I clearly did put it out there. That's all that matters. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, and he wasn't responding at that point at all?
No, he didn't respond then.
Okay.
So the reason why, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And so he wasn't responding, so then you used someone else's phone to send it to him, correct?
Right, because I didn't want him to say that I was trying to keep his key. I wanted to make sure he got the message. So the reason why, because I did that, is because he had changed his setting on WhatsApp. So when you're using WhatsApp, you can
This girl can talk more than me.
just do one
See?
check if that shows that the message didn't go through. And then it's 2 checks if the messages go through, and then it's 2 blue checks if it's red. So he had changed his setting, so I couldn't see that if he was receiving it or not. So I wanted to make sure that he knew I wasn't trying to keep his key. So that's when I had someone else send it to protect myself, because so he could never say that I was trying to keep his key from him, because the officer told me when he came back on the 30th that by law, I can't keep his key. I'm gonna get myself in trouble for doing that and stuff like that. So that's why I sent the messages. Now, go ahead.
And he still never responded to you, even from someone else's phone, right? Is that correct?
Not at that time, but we were going, let me just go to WhatsApp. Not at that time, but we have a lot of messages on WhatsApp still. Let me see, just on the last response was from him. Let me see. The last response from him was when he was trying to say I won or something. I believe that was June 1st. That was June 1st or June. Yeah, it was June 1st when he was trying to say that I won.
Okay. And
No,
at that,
I'm lying. I'm sorry. It was, yeah, it was still June 1st though, but that wasn't it. So I called him later on June 1st, and he said he was on a call, and I said, okay. And I just put, I wasn't trying to talk. I was just asking if you wanted to go back to the apartment and Ava and I leave so you can pay the rent and not mess up our credit. Just trying to do what makes sense, as I'm not paying more than I normally pay, which is a 500, but it's late. I'm not trying to fight with you. I just wanted you to know I see you're typing. So he started to type, and I said, that's why I was trying to reach out, because I was just thinking about the credit at the time. And it not being messed up, because I knew I couldn't afford the entire rent.
okay. All right. But you'd agree that's the last time he said anything to you on WhatsApp or text or anything like that, correct?
That's the last time we spoke, but I had missed calls.
Okay, but they were from a blocked number, correct?
1 was a block number and 2 was from him.
Okay. Let me back up. But so the last time he was making.
I like salad, first of all. It's not that bad. Thank you for obliging Iowa and I for dinner, Mikey. That was a lovely time. Iowa, what is your channel at right now? I'm so happy for you. I went to bed last night and I saw it hit 200 and I was like, this is so awesome. I woke up and I left a nice comment and I looked and I was like, Jesus Christ, it's at 230 something. Then I looked again, it was at 270 something. What are you at now? I love also the Iowa command in here, which I choose to believe. 275. Yes, that's awesome. Because it's like, what does it say? It's like where the critters are paid actors or something like that. I love it. Anyways, also, yeah, we had a blast eating salad with you, Mikey. Who couldn't do with some meat at night, I suppose. Have to settle for 276 now. Can we get a link? Yeah, honestly, if we type in Iowa, I think it comes up in the chat. Also, I guess I had to settle for Uncrustables that night alone.
Any effort to speak with you, any sort of back and forth, was June 1st before he had been served, correct?
When was he served?
Well, you got the order signed on June 1st. You knew he was not served that day, correct?
I'm asking when he was served. I don't know exactly what day he was served. I'm sorry, you asked me correct. I don't know what day he was served. I put in the application
Fine,
for
you
it.
can say, I don't know. If she doesn't know, she doesn't know.
I'm sorry.
Okay, not a problem. You knew he did have to be served though, right? It wasn't like the judge signed and automatically he just knew to stay away. Someone had to tell him, right?
I told him that, and I told him that. I said, leave me alone, like stop messaging me. You're not even supposed to be messaging me. We have court on the 22nd. Let's just wait until court. And that's when he said, what are you
Where are
talking?
those texts? Where are those messages?
Hold on. 1 second. I don't have a stay away. Judge already told me my stand, so you can send it and it will be dismissed. Wait, what I said now? Oh no, so I said,
They're trying to
So
get
all
through
of
this,
this was
Billy.
before the TPO, right?
he's calling me a leech, leave me alone, leech. You took the ban, telling me he hates me, but this, hold on, I'm sorry, all of these things instead of answering, you pulled my. Okay, so you drop what? Okay, so I said all these things. Okay, now you claiming to try to ruin. Let me just see what day this was. Oh, this was also on June 1st. So this was June 1st when I was telling him, because he was like, oh, you dropped what? It's already done, you clown. I have to take a class from our genius. Shut the fuck up. I drop it all, dummy. I'm already, you ass. I don't even know what he meant when he said that. I don't have to stay away. Judge already have my stand, so you can send it. It will be dismissed. You were evil for real, for real. No, you're really the worst. Leave me alone. So he didn't know. I was telling him because he was still messaging me. Let me see.
Okay, but he's telling you to leave him alone, right?
He said that.
I'd like to point out, we already knew about my childish tastes. I've been open and upfront about my love for Uncrustables and Lunchables and how I'm a cheap ass bitch. I can't even go to the rich mall. I don't belong there. I don't want the rich stuff. I was just like, no, where are my Uncrustables? Anyways, so salad. I'm a basic bitch, I guess. Now I'm eating Uncrustables. And this lady won't stop talking, I swear to God. She's making time slow down in a weird way, in a fucked up way.
But then he kept messaging me. I told him to leave me alone and stop messaging me.
But
as
we've
well.
already looked at the exhibit earlier that you kept sending him messages and he wasn't responding, right?
have a whole slew of messages. We have a whole slew of messages. 1 second.
And all of that,
on June
and all
1st,
of that was before the TPO. All that was on or before June 1st, right?
it was on June 1st.
Okay. And once he said, leave me alone, I don't want to talk to you, he blocked you and you couldn't send him any more messages, right?
That's not true because okay. So he actually called me. Another thing, I'm looking at it. Okay, I don't know if it's too late to send it. It probably is, but I'll try anyway. And it wouldn't be PT. Okay.
Just tell us what it is.
So I'm looking on Wednesday, June 7th. Okay, so it says Monday, June 12th. I have missed voice call from him at 3:22. And then I called you back. So I tried to reach back out to him at 5:23. And then I have another missed call at 6:39. And then I put, why do you keep calling me and hanging up? Shake my head. That's what I said to him. And that was the last that we have communicated. That was the last of it, or the last message I sent to him. And I see that it did go through because it had the two blank checks. So
Mercy.
yeah, he clearly had taken me off of block.
Like, seriously, Lord have mercy on all of us so much. This judge is going to put this in place. This is the saddest part about that. Judge woke.
block, because if he had me on block, then you told me that he said it was a butt dial, but if he had me on blocked, then he wouldn't have been able to butt dial me through WhatsApp. You can't, it is not gonna allow that.
Okay.
So
you didn't want contact with him, but you didn't block him.
no, he wasn't communicating with me. I came back on June 12th.
That's my point. He wasn't communicating with you.
I was in Punta Cana. Prior to that, the last communication was June 1st.
Okay, so did something about Punta Cana prevent you from blocking him?
June 1st. No, nothing prevented me from blocking him. He was blocked on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, on regular messages. But to be honest, I left it because I wanted him to admit what he did. I
Miss
wanted
Brown,
him.
you need to turn on your video, please, ma'am.
Oh, it's not on? Oh, I'm sorry, because I was looking
Jesus
at the messages.
Christ.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
There we go.
She's been
Yeah, I was
going
trying
through
to get
messages
him
the
to
whole time.
admit what he did. So I didn't like just block him right away. I was trying to get him to admit, because he was saying all this other stuff, you're evil, you initiated it. But he never did say that he did anything. So I was trying to get him to, I wanted to leave that for him to admit that. But again, I was out of the country anyway. So we weren't,
Humble
the
brag.
last time I was surprised to see that missed call. And this was the day that I got back, that he was, all of a sudden, the day I'm coming back, that this happened.
Okay, so you weren't scared. You weren't trying to keep him away from you. You left the door open so he could come and admit what he did, right?
So him messaging me is not gonna keep me scared. I did want him away from me. That's why I kept telling him he can come, but with escort. For
Okay.
our.
But he'd already come with an escort and he never came back, right?
Honestly, that happens to a lot of guys. You come with an escort. It's hard to come back to your wife after that. Boring, vanilla sex. On the escort, you paid like $350, $400, maybe for. Yeah, it's hard to bounce back after that. Especially if you've come.
No, he did. Yeah, correct.
Okay. So except for this dial where you said one of them was a block call and the other was from him, correct?
2 was from him and 1 was blocked at like 2 in the morning.
Okay. So were there messages left on these calls?
No, there weren't messages, but the WhatsApp, you can't. I don't know that you could leave a message on WhatsApp message, but no, there weren't any messages.
Okay. And then you responded to him after those, correct?
Yeah, I did.
And he never said anything, correct?
No.
Okay. And it's your position he should have had you blocked, so a butt dial wouldn't happen. Is that right?
No, you said that he blocked me, and I'm telling you that he had taken me off block. Like, I was not blocked the entire time, because if he did block me, the butt dial wouldn't have happened.
Right, but you didn't block him because you were okay if he contacted you. You just wanted him to admit what he did was wrong, right?
I was trying to get him to admit what he did was wrong. I was trying to get him to admit what he did, period, not even that it was wrong. And we were going back and forth via messages. So I just and that was June 1st was the last one. We weren't communicating. It's not like he was trying to contact me. When he was trying to contact me after that, I had blocked him. I think he's still blocked right now on Messenger, if I'm not mistaken.
But that is why we're going forward with everything, not because you're frightened, not because he's tried to come after you, but because it's his lies, right? You told him that.
So what I told him is, because of the lie, I am frightened because of what he did, and I can't trust him to be around him. I can't trust that he's going to do that, because he did what he did and he lied about it. Like, it is more of for my protection and not to feel like I'm in that position again. So it's not just because he lied. The lie is also making me feel like, okay, I have no choice but to do it, because what's going to happen next? And then God forbid, like, say if I didn't do this and he eventually came back or whatever, and what next? Because things have continuously gotten worse. So that's why I just decided to go ahead with it, especially since he was lying about what he did.
Okay, but he wasn't trying to contact you when you went forward with it. He'd stopped talking to you. He came to get his thing with a police officer, right? That's what was happening when you took out your TPO.
That's not true. That's not true at all. I sent the messages to, what was it? When I first applied, I believe I sent the messages to it was a gentleman. It was a male, and that's why I thought court was gonna be so quick, because I don't even think I was on the phone with him for more than 15 minutes, if that much, because I had already sent him the messages and stuff that he had sent me. And he was saying, yeah, it's a good thing that you did that. I was able to, like, I guess when I was applying for this, I was applying for the order protection, and then I had to speak with someone via Zoom, and I sent them the information, like, proof of what was happening. But yeah, he was contacting me. We were going back and forth after he came back with the officer.
Okay, Ms. Abbasi, I think she answered that question. It may not be the answer you wanted or were aiming for, but she's answered it. So let's move on.
Okay. And you admit you threw something at him, that incident, correct? On the 26th?
No,
You never threw anything at him.
no, that was talking about when I got the stitches. I was talking about February. I'm sorry. On the 26th, when he got arrested, I was not aggressive at all. I was running my mouth. I was talking fast, but I did not come to him. I didn't approach him even when I was like this the entire time with the phone, like, look at him in my face. Look what I'm doing. Look what I have to do. Look at him in my face right now. I said some more things that I don't really want to say, but I was like this with my back turned, and then the phone was knocked out of my hand. Like, he hit my hand and knocked the phone. My first initial response was, so you're gonna hit me? Because that's how hard it happened. Again, it left a bruise. And when I turned around, I'm like, so you're gonna knock the phone out of my hand? And then that's when he was there with the fork. And then I'm like, oh, I wish you would, saying stuff like that, kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I wish you would. Like, I wish, like, showing that he was going to hit me. So.
But you withdrew completely. Is that what you're saying?
I did. Because I knew I know I can't beat him. I wasn't even trying to do that. Like, I wasn't trying to fight with him. Like, I was on the phone venting to my friend. Like, I was talking to my friend via FaceTime. Okay. And he came out because he overheard what I was saying and was saying, she's lying, and this. Like, he came in my face. That's why I went like this to show. He was coming to me. I was in the living room.
He came in my face. Some women like that, and they appreciate when somebody comes in their face.
Right here sitting down about to fold the clothes.
Okay. So it's your testimony that he came at you, you withdrew, tried to get away from the situation, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So isn't it true that you texted him afterwards that, yes, you had thrown a picture at him, correct?
Did I text him?
Yes.
No, I didn't text him that I threw a picture at him at all. What I text him is that because he said, oh, you tried to hit me with a picture. Oh, no. Oh, you threw a picture at me. That's what he said. And I said, no, I did not. You even text my mom saying that I tried to hit you with a picture, meaning you never got hit with a picture. That's what I said to him. And I also said, I didn't hit you with the picture. I tossed the picture away from him. It was just for frustration. Again, it came from his mom. I'm not saying it was the best thing. I'm being honest about everything that happened. I wasn't happy with his mom. I wasn't happy with him. The picture was right there. I knew not to hit him and whatever. I took the picture and I tossed the picture away from him, not even close to him, because I knew if I hit him or anything, I would have gotten hit, and I wasn't trying to do that, but I was frustrated and I tossed the picture away from him, and that's what happened. And when I was turning around, because I felt like, drew the picture, turned around, and then he grabbed me by my hair, you fucking bitch. And then I, found him off, and I went and grabbed my phone. And I said to because again, he knocked it out of my hand, it was on the floor. I ran to my phone and I said to my friend, I'm going to call you back. He got me fucked up. I'm calling the police. And I called the police, and he stayed. I guess he thought like everything was gonna work out before. I'm just assuming he thought, nothing was gonna happen, like nothing happened last time. And that's another reason why I kept going with it, because I felt threatened. And I felt like, okay, I cannot not do anything about it, because things, like I've been saying, have just been getting worse between us. And I don't know what's gonna happen next.
Okay. So you don't recall sending a text message to him where you admitted, I just threw the pic in retaliation of you knocking my phone? You don't recall sending that?
Yeah, I threw it in retaliation, but not at him.
Okay.
I threw what I just admitted. That was my retaliation. Like, I was frustrated, so I threw the picture. Again, I can screenshot the message right now and upload it if you like, but no, it's gonna take me off the camera. If I have permission to do so, he messaged my mom saying that I tried to hit him with a picture. Why didn't you say I hit you with the picture? You said I tried to hit you with the picture. Did you get hit with the picture? No, you did not. I threw it because I was frustrated.
Okay, but when we said picture, I want to be clear, this is like a 5-foot like piece of wall art. This isn't like a little frame picture. This is like a big, large poster size type thing, correct?
Right, that was tossed, and it was tossed. This is it right here. It's so big, and if it was really what he's trying to make it out to be, like I did it, or like I tried to hurt him with it or something, this thing should be shattered. Hold on one second. It should be shattered. It still holds. The glass is still here. This is the only thing I tossed it. This is the only thing that chip right here is still in place. This whole big thing, if it was what he's trying to make it seem like I did with this picture, it should be broken. And it's not. Like, I literally just tossed the picture. That's why it's still standing.
Okay, but it was tossed in retaliation, right?
Yes, because he pulled me, no, he knocked the phone out of my hand. He pulled my hair after that. Like, after I tossed it, that's when he pulled my hair. If I took it and threw it, that picture would have broke. It would have hit him with force or something else with force if I was trying to do that. Like, and it would have been shattered. That's not the case.
Right, because if you wanted to hit him, you wouldn't have missed, right? That's what you told him.
It's frozen altogether, so we're just getting audio.
Because I wasn't trying to hit him. That's exactly what I said. My intention was not to hit him, and I did not hit him. It was me just being frustrated for how I was being handled and treated, and I did that. But I knew not to hit him. I knew he would have hit me. He's there with his fist with a fork in his hand. A fork in his hand, and he has a fist like this. Oh, I wish you, girl, I wish you would.
He literally
And he
broke
didn't hit you with
everybody.
the fork, though, did he?
Because I didn't hit him. I didn't hit him back.
Okay. So, we talked about he wasn't making contact with you after June 1st, except for this call that you say he was calling you on June 12th. Is that right?
Yeah, but you told me it was, I believe I spoke with you when you were trying to come to an agreement.
Right, hold on. So this has already been asked and answered, that there were 2 calls, I've heard it multiple times, from his number to hers that were not answered. She may have messaged back in between them.
And nothing since then. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. All right. So you mentioned you and I did speak previously, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And we were offering to stay away from you, correct?
A part of what you were offering.
Okay. We're offering to have no contact with you whatsoever.
I don't recall. What I recall is the same thing that you were requesting, the same thing that he had asked before you even got involved, was to pay half of the rent. And you know, he'll stay where he's at. I can stay here, and he pays half the rent. And to dismiss it, to avoid excuse me. I'll give it to you when I'm done. I'm having an important thing to you. Okay, just take it. Just take it to you. I'm sorry.
The screen's frozen on the source video.
Okay,
We're finishing this shit now.
Some yes or no questions here.
We'll fucking
The
try
proposal
asking
was
them.
he would have no contact with you whatsoever, right?
No.
No. So that there was proposed contact.
I don't recall you saying that no contact whatsoever, because you were talking about us going half in the rent, and how would we have been able to go half in the rent if we weren't contacting each other? Like, that was not, like, you had asked me to come to an agreement prior to coming to avoid this, so we didn't have to be here today. And then you were saying that if I what he wanted, if we could come to an agreement of going half in the rent, and I stay here with my daughter, and to just dismiss this or avoid the hearing. And I said no, because I didn't want to go half, and I'm planning on leaving. That's when I was trying to tell you all the details of what happened, and you weren't interested in hearing it, or you just let me know what you were focused on and what you needed to hear. And I was explaining to you, like, my focus right now is to try to, I didn't think that it's fair for me to have to do that right now. I at least need, at least 2 months so I can get my money together and do what I need to do so I can go my separate way versus, just getting put into another apartment and then eventually having an eviction because I have nothing to fall back on for food or for anything, because I no longer qualify for food stamps or any type of assistance, because I just drastically went from 1650 to 2349 out of nowhere, and now I can't get anything. But I'm trying to use the money to pay down stuff so that I can be secure to go. So that's why I was asking you for 2 months or so, and you told me that he doesn't want to do that.
Can I ask the parties, when does the lease expire?
November.
Okay.
The video's frozen.
So, isn't it true you told me you would not agree to anything until he admitted what he did? Is that right?
Probably some. That's something I would say. I would
That's
say
the
that.
best we can do.
Okay.
Because I knew, I was told I didn't have to speak to you, and I'm saying I'm not doing anything, like, because you wanted me to avoid this, and I'm saying I'm not going to avoid this. I'm not going to not come to court or to do any of this. He's going to have to, I'm going to come to court. He's going to admit what he did, and if he wanted me to do anything or come to some type of agreement, you're gonna admit what you did, because it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and say no and take this all back when you're lying about, like, the whole thing, and then it just doesn't make any sense. If he at least admitted what he did, then okay, we can have no contact, and he's, agreeing with me saying admitted what you did, like, that also included agreeing to help me by continuing to do what you're doing, and with the rent.
Okay, so let's get beyond, since the parties aren't married, there's very little I can do on the rent, and I'll address that if we get to the acts of family violence.
I understand.
But I understand there were negotiations between the parties, and I'll give that whatever weight I'm allowed to.
Yes. You knew he wanted to get out of the lease, correct? He still wants to get out of the lease, correct?
We both did. We both said that he just well, I've always been the one to say I'm breaking news. I have messages where I'm constantly saying that to him. We're not gonna do this no more. He always told me he wanted to make it work. I've come to him and asked him plenty of times, are you sure this is what you want, because of the lack of effort? He would always tell me verbally he wanted to make it work and he wanted to be here, but it just never registered to me, and I was never comfortable with it because of the lack of effort or action that he would make to make things work and do better. So he never, now, of course, he wants to get out of it, but he never expressed he wants to leave. He never expressed, he would always say he wants to make it work, because I would ask him that. I constantly would act like, are you sure you want this to work? You sure you want to be together still, blah, blah, blah? Oh, I'm here, right? I'm here, right? I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't love you. I wouldn't be doing this. That's the type of stuff he would say. He never expressed that he wanted to go.
Oh, there's an interesting question. So she's badgering him even though he says he loves her and he's there. Does he say he loves her? Is that the tip off, ladies? If the guy says that he loves you, then you just believe him? This story is crazy. It's had its ups and downs, its turnarounds. We have minutes left and we'll see what happens.
Separate. That was something that I would always say.
Okay.
I would be doing that. He would say go half. That's what it was. That's what you proposed. You never told me you wanted to break the lease. You were asking me as well to go half.
Okay. So he never told you after the February incident, let's break this lease. He never said that?
When we were arguing, he did say that. He did
Okay,
say
so
that.
he did say that.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. He did say that, and I told him go ahead and break it with the $4,000. You pay for it. Pay for it. That's what I said. Pay for it.
Okay, but you don't want him to break it now, correct?
I didn't. Okay, so if he's gonna go ahead and break it, I don't have any control over that. My thing is for me and for what I want for me and my child, I just wanted some grace to already express how many times to get my money in order so I can go and do what I need to do and not risk eviction. That's it. So of course, no, I wouldn't want it broken at this moment, but I was always talking about breaking the lease, like, but just not right at this moment.
Okay, so that's what it is you want. That's the result you want, is to be able to have some sort of assistance until you can find your own place or something like that. Is that correct?
For not even until the remaining of the lease. Just I was asking for about 2 to 3 months. Like it wasn't, I'm not saying just come pay the rent, and I'll be grateful for some type of assistance, because again,
So I'm not going to order assistance
I understand that.
since y'all are not married. My question is, when is rent due each month?
On the 3rd.
Okay.
Okay, and the apartment complex offered to move you to another unit, correct? They know what's going on, right?
They told me that they can go ahead and do that, but I was going through the court because there was a lot of word of mouth, nothing was in writing. So to avoid the situation of where the officer told me, yes, there's no contact, and I found out that it was, just a non-violent contact, I wanted to go through this and make sure I was in the right, because I was advised, a friend of mine had advised me to get it in writing, and when I went and asked her for something in writing, she was like, yeah, I'm just trying to I gotta get with my manager over the weekend to see how to word it. And I never got anything in writing, so I just decided to just go through with the court just to make sure everything is being done correctly. But also, another reason I didn't jump on that is because he also did pay. He did go ahead and pay for June. And I did go ahead and send him some money as well, the difference from the bills. And again, I needed time to get my finances in order. So I didn't want them to just go run and do that. And then now I'm in there, not able to catch up on anything. That's why I didn't try to do that. And I wanted to come to court first and see. Like just go, because I already had a court date. And again, I felt like I learned a lesson the first time, thinking that it was supposed to be no contact, and it wasn't. So I just wanted to make sure. I didn't get anything in writing from her either. So I didn't really know what my rights were or anything, like, or what. It was just like, oh yeah, you could do this and I could, but there was nothing in writing. It was just,
Okay. And your mother lives in Covington, correct?
Correct.
Do you have some family support in this area, right?
No.
That you don't have any family support with your mother in Covington?
No, not to live with her.
Okay. You work, correct?
I do.
Just about a raise, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you took a big vacation in June, correct?
Correct. That was planned well before this. Correct.
Okay.
It was already paid. We started paying on it in March.
Okay. And he's offered to give you some assistance with the rent, correct? Some assistance.
He offered to go half.
Okay. He's offered, and that includes he would do that and have no contact with you, right?
We didn't discuss all of that because I was saying, like, no, that's not what I wanted to do. He was threatening, like, oh, go half, or all your shit is out on the 1st and stuff like that, on the 4th, eviction on the 4th. But we were just going back and forth. We weren't having any type of resolution conversation. It was just bickering back and forth in circles, getting nowhere. That's really the gist of what we were doing.
Okay.
No fun. This is
Your Honor, I don't believe I have any other questions at this time.
All right. All right. That's fine. Do you have any witnesses or testimony, or evidence you would like to present, Ms. Abbasi?
If I could have a moment to confer with my client, I don't think it will take very long.
Okay, and I'll just remind, I'll let y'all confer. You can tell me what you want to do. I may have a few questions for him, and then we will go from there.
Absolutely.
We'll place y'all in a breakout room for just a few minutes.
Thank you.
I don't have any more of that. Y'all are going to be mad. I'm sorry. But I don't. I'll look for it. but I don't think I have any more. Regardless, she'll put it in place. She always does. She puts everything in place for the women. Prissy, I make no disclaimers. Lisa, I fucking said that. Yeah, I'm not serious. Yeah, I'm totally serious. Hi, Ron Mitchell. You're here just for the people to kill us or get mad at me for cock blocking them on a case. I didn't know. I didn't. I may have more, but I can't handle more tonight. Anyways, you guys, listen, thank you for being here. And please make sure that you've gone ahead and clocked in for your shift. Even if you're mad at me, clock in for your shift. Leave a comment if you're really mad at me. Go ahead. That would be great. Remember that I love you. I'm proud of you. And I will see you tomorrow. Yeah. Bye. I think I'm going to Buc-ee's tomorrow.